Now.
Okay, let me check and make sure it's coming through.
Is this the legit broadcast, or are we gonna?
The Eric E-Step one is on live right now. That's Jeff Gluck.
Yes, it's the legit broadcast, Chris.
All right then. All right, professional.
Ah, yes, the Winter Classic is on right now. Third annual. Absolutely splendid.
Yeah, that was a great crash by Joey Murphy. Or nothing else, a
Henry,
great
you
spin.
didn't change that. Good job.
What?
I love it. We're in the Winter Classic again, guys.
What happened?
I think you should be able to do that, Seth.
I'll be able to edit the title afterwards. It's fine.
What's the title?
All right,
Just
yep.
edit now.
Showing up. All right, let me just double check and make sure that the sound is coming through correctly. So give me 1 second. You guys just like pretend you're broadcasting just for a minute, and I can hear if your voice is coming through.
So James Shelley leading a little bit of a tiny pack here going into turn one here. He's got Brandon Hawk, and I think that's the fifth one of Corey Williams with him. Shelley showed a lot of promise in practice, running nearly most of the was the driver that had most of the laps. Other than Roger Ray himself.
Okay, voices are coming through good. Henry, you gotta just volume down just a tiny little bit.
Oh, they turned down the game volume?
Yep, just a tiny bit.
New cars.
But other than that, the voices were coming through good.
Let me check it myself.
Do you want me to turn up the game volume? Because I think I turned it down too low.
No, that actually sounds good.
Okay. That's probably just like how my headset is.
Alright, so you guys are live, so good luck.
Thanks, Seth. We hope that you have a very good race. Though, with the notification from a phone, I do kind of see what he meant. Considering that it's like, hi, Winter Classic. We're at Daytona.
True gem.
So, yeah.
User joined your channel.
Henry,
Yeah.
just said to ask Charles if he wants to get in TeamSpeak and commentate as well.
I don't think that he's gonna be able to, considering that I'm pretty sure he's in class right now. But I can, nothing else, check.
Okay, well, I mean, like, afterwards, when he's done with class, he could probably come in and get in.
You give him, like, you give him the admin password or something, or?
Yeah, he'll be able to give him the admin password. Dollarton already knows what it is, so he can tell him when he gets in.
Okay.
I just messaged Charles on Facebook, and it says he's active, so.
Okay.
User left your channel.
Oh my god, right there, James Shelley.
I assume that he'll be notified and...
Yeah, he's on the fence.
Yeah.
And I think that was somebody trying to wreck the 08 there at the end. I think that was the 4 of Zach Buchanan, but that didn't work out.
A little bit of a pat down the back stretch here. Joey Murphy and Dylan Poteet are pushing each other there. Zach Rogers side by side with Jonathan Fitzwater there. So they're going to go at it for, not really for position, but just really trying to get used to the draft here at Daytona here. So we're not quite sure of how the suck-up is going to come into play here. It's just a matter of how you use it so you can take that to your advantage and get a slingshot maneuver around these drivers.
Yes, as we have a bunch of people just doing whatever on the start. I'm going to take a look on how James Shelley got freaking into the fence.
It was quite a spectacle.
For those of you that just joined us, welcome. Don't let the title deceive you. That is not the right title. This is the, what is this,
This is the second running of the NNSCRA Daytona 500 here.
Oh, so that's what happened to Shelley.
So, yes, welcome to the second annual, or not quite annual, but the second time we have run this Daytona 500 here on this channel. We're your broadcast crew for this evening. I'm Chris Dollard and DJ Curtis Henry Sanford. Might have a couple other people join us in later on in the race, but we are your crew for the time being, and it's been interesting so far with you know how these guys have been running in practice, and guys with the damage factor. It's going to be, these guys have got to think long run in this one. They really do.
Yeah, most certainly so, because the long run is going to be the way to go here. The big picture at Daytona is to survive, so you want to keep that car in one piece. The first running of the NNSCRA Daytona 500, we had no damage, and we had I would say, a massive load of cautions. Not many drivers were taken out, to say the least. There, you mentioned it. 33 cautions on the racetrack here. We are in-game yellow, so do keep that in mind. So the pace car will actually come into play more than once today, hopefully, or probably to say the least, it will come once today.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time on the track, besides the starting grid. And at least
what you guys are seeing here is footage from our happy hour, and well, I thought they were going to save it. They didn't. We have a wreck up here in 1.
Well, we got 3 people that went through. No, 4 people.
Thought Matt was going to try and get through that one. That didn't really work out.
He plowed into that one.
3-wide battle up here in turn 3 and 4. That's Zach Rogers.
And Poti just crashed.
I better get these names down with the numbers right now, or I'm going to start messing up during when we get going.
Well, technically we're going right now. It's just in happy hour.
That's not what I mean, Henry. I mean when the race starts.
I think he meant when the race actually commences, so...
Fair enough.
It takes some time to get used to different drivers in different numbers, so, you know, you're always so accustomed to seeing the drivers in the same number. Like, for example, Corey Williams is in the 51 here, which isn't a surprise because he runs that in the IBOS league as well as the Light Series, so we know that Corey Williams is usually, at least for this season, known to be in the 51 car. Jessica Shelton in a different number in the 9 car there, Cole Baker in the 11, Brandon Honkin in the 98. You know, there's a lot of different faces in different numbers. Cody Lom's one of the few drivers in the consistent number basis, as well as Tyler Mallon, so there's a few drivers that we can still remember, but like I mentioned, really new faces in new cars are going to be pretty much going to be a bit of a hassle for us commentators here, so you might want to forgive us for being a bit forgetful.
So, I mean, some other ones to point out here: Zach Rogers in his common number 6, Johnny Gardner in his iconic number 7. Yeah, like you're right. I've been doing NR broadcasts for 5 years, a lot in the last 2 years, and it's gonna be tough to figure out how these guys are gonna be racing in a race like this. This isn't for any points, complete exhibition, but you want to go all out because it's one of the prestigious races of the year, the NNSCRA Daytona 500. First time we've done this in a while.
Certainly so.
But we've made some changes, and hopefully it'll bring you guys some good racing. And we'll see what happens. So far in happy hour, Johnny Gardner's had the fastest time of a 46.73, but the guy right below him, Tyler Mallon, 47 flat. Completely, you got triple zeros on the board, 47 flat. So that and that's in the draft there. So they're running pretty fast in the draft. Qualifying speeds were going to be slower because they're running single by themselves.
Single file here, yeah.
So we'll see how this plays out. We're expecting. I'm trying to see here. I'm thinking 27 drivers will start the race. 26 or 27. I'm not sure of the correct entry on that, but got a minute left in happy hour, guys. Predictions.
Honestly, I think that's going to be a hard one to decide here because we have a lot of drivers that are in contention here that have Super Speedway success here, but in terms of who I think could win this race, I think it could potentially be Joey Murphy in the number 10 car here. In the IMRC series, he's actually had success at Daytona, recently winning the race there, and it was a stage-based race. Exactly. So Joey Murphy has some luck at plate tracks, and with that 10 car he's running, he might have that IMRC luck on his side.
And in all honesty, what I am thinking of when I'm thinking of the winner is probably gonna be like Michael Norman, because like I know that he knows how to do super speedways pretty well. A couple others that jump out to my mind as well are like Jessica Shelton, Seth Cole. Those people, I say that they have a pretty good chance. But essentially, it's just anybody's guess because it's Daytona. It's a restrictor plate. You have absolutely no idea what the heck is going to go on from the time the green flag waves until the checkered flag waves.
You know, and like DJ pointed out, I'll give you my prediction here real quick. We have about a minute still here on the timer before we head to the race. We'll give you the starting lineup. I look at the guys that have ran this track mostly during this whole session with practice and happy hour. James Shelley, and Roger Ray have been the guys longest on the track. So I feel like they have an advantage up on how they know the track and how it's going to run. But, I mean, I know from past races with Shelley, he usually just ends up in bad luck. But I'm looking at both of those two to have a phenomenal run today here in the 500. That's who I'm looking at to maybe either pulling out the win or having a really, really good finish. So get about 20 seconds here, and then we'll... Oh, never mind.
Like they were saying, happy hour, maybe giving the drivers a bit more time here.
Looks like
but
they're
those
looks like they're going to give them an extra 10 here, or so.
Maybe a bit less. We'll have to see here.
Or maybe we might be getting the driver meeting that like
That might be
was done like for whatever.
I did
But
not know
who
that
really
it was
knows?
possible to have red flags in this game, but I was wrong.
I will say this though, Darlington, those are really good picks though. Sure, this is an intermediate, this is a super speedway to say the least, but it is a track in which anybody, and I mean anybody, could win this racetrack. It is the Daytona. People will get aggressive once the latter half comes into play. Once we get to, I would say, around the 40 lap go marker, or even 20 laps to go, we're going to see more drivers get more and more desperate. So James Shelley and Roger Ray, they're no stranger to Daytona. Really, nobody here is a stranger to Daytona from what I know, because these drivers have been running in 2003 for quite some time. So I believe they know at least the gist of how the racing works here.
Quick overview before we get going here of this race. This race is split into stages. Lap 40 that will be the end of stage 1. Lap 80 will be the end of stage 2, and then stage 3 will go from lap 81 to the end of the race. So we are guaranteed 2 caution periods in this race. Definitely going to have more than 2 cautions in this race, unless these guys somehow surprise us or whatever. But they have to figure this into pit. Fuel window about 25-28 laps, and that I don't know if that's, I think that might be fuel and tires. I might be wrong on that. I'm gonna have to double check with the guys down in the shops to see what the pit, or we'll just go with pit window 25-28 laps. That's what Seth Cole had said to me prior to the race. So we'll see how that plays into the as well as that's just past halfway through a stage, and then you get to the final stage of 70 laps. You're almost guaranteed to stop. Almost 3 times, but twice guaranteed in the final stage.
Yep, certainly would be quite interesting to see how these drivers will split these stages up. Fuel will be probably the bigger priority, to be exact. Tires are still going to be a factor, but the fuel window is really the big key here. Drivers may take 2 tires, some may take 4, or none at all. So it's a matter of strategy here in this race. If we go green to the end in terms of the 3rd stage, well, might be anybody's game.
To be honest, if you look at the actual Daytona 500, track position was the big name in that race. Track position. So how did drivers combat that? I remember watching the eventual winner, Denny Hamlin, running that race. He took track position over quality of the car, and it ended up paying off in the long run. And he ended up going on to win his 2nd Daytona 500 just this last Sunday. Much to the chagrin of a bunch of people, but I digress. But so that's what these guys have to figure into: track position, keeping your fuel at a limit. Yes, tires can be an issue, but with this being a super speedway, the wear is not as bad as would it be compared to, say, Atlanta or Dover.
Yep, I certainly agree with that. Also, Denny Hamlin did catch in the clash, despite it being a relatively boring race for a lot of race fans here. Denny Hamlin made a bold move on the outside, coming in the pit lane. If you remember from green flag pit stops, Denny Hamlin was on the outside group, past about 5 cars, to gain where he was at the front of the field in the end of that stage, to say the least. So Denny Hamlin didn't know how to use his way around. Maybe we might see drivers try and implement that kind of execution so that they can gain some track position as well.
Henry, anything to add?
Well, I say that like a lot of you guys were like pretty well correct, and like I honestly think that this will be like a very interesting race, just because of like one, like as you guys said, tire strategy, not really that much of an issue, at least not as much as what it would be like if it was a road course or something, or a different type of track essentially. But I think that will much more be coming down to like how well can people manage fuel, as well as their track position. So like unfortunately with how it is and how NR is set up, there will be a couple of gaps in the starting field, just due to like the commentators being in here, but like not racing, etc. So I think that will also throw a little bit of some gears, some wrenches into it. Nothing else, just for the first couple laps. But I think that if you're able to win, you'll be able to come back no matter where the heck you are. It's basically just all about management.
Definitely. Another quick topic here, as we still got some time here before we get going green here tonight at Daytona. The thing is here, I've noticed that during in practice and happy hour, 2 wide works, 3 wide almost doesn't, and 4 wide's not even a question. When these guys get 3 wide, it gets so tight, and I've been following some of these guys as they've been going around the track. When they get 3 wide, they can go maybe about a lap or 2, and then all hell breaks loose. When they're 2 wide, they can get some good green flag laps run. DJ, what is it going to take for these guys to just calm down at the open of this race and just race conservatively at the beginning? Because again, we talked about at the top of the broadcast, long term, they got to think in the big picture. What do these guys have to do in order? What it seems like such a dumb question, but what do these guys have to do to keep this race clean at the beginning and come to the end when then it's no holds barred after that?
I would say it's more determinant of the driver, the mindset of the driver, as well as the principle of give and take. So basically, if a driver is wanting to get to the bottom of the track there, and they're wanting to get down there, you might want to let them in, give them a bit of like hospitality. So that's really up to the driver really to decide it. It's really, anybody can play conservative. It's just a matter of the mindset as a driver. Because when I run super speed races, I usually keep my car clean early on, and I usually stay in the back, to say the least there. And I like to really think of the bigger picture at the end of things, really. Like I said, it's always up to the driver to really decide whether to be aggressive or not. Whether it's a bump on the backstretch or even in the corners, which is usually a risk in the first place. But again, really, I think it's really always up to the driver to decide it.
Yeah, and then hopefully as well, as just shown on the stream, hopefully we don't really go and have a warp that just unfortunately took out 2 drivers, as I know for a fact that I just saw this black smoke of death. So like I was pretty sure that there was 2 drivers out. One would have had like severe damage or so. So essentially it's just gonna be like management over that, management over fuels, as well as just just making sure that everything goes smoothly. I think that the people that can manage it just fine will be the people to watch for, and would be the ones that are more likely to be seen up front and possibly win the race.
Yep, most certainly so here. Looks like the cars are getting ready. It's set here for the NNSCRA Daytona 500. Phil Parker, as we mentioned, on the pole here. Tyler Mallon on his outside here. So these 2 drivers will lead it to the green flag here. They'll have a big field of cars here, less than 40, but more than half the field, at least in terms of an average Daytona 500 in this race here. Realistic damage, as we've talked about several times. It's going to be a bit of an issue here for some of these drivers here, because they're used to getting aggressive early on. But it's a matter of what will come in store for us as commentators as well, because the action is going to await us here in Daytona Beach.
All right, these guys are, well, hang on. Oh, never mind. Got them back. All right. So these guys are raring to go here. We're going to try and give you a starting lineup if we can. I'm going to wait for them all to get out of the pits before I try that at all.
Confirmation, yeah.
Yeah,
so front row is Phil Parker and Tyler Mallon.
Phil Parker, that is row 1 with Tyler Mallon. Row number 2, Jimmy Powell III with Brandon Hawkin. Row number 3, Jonathan Fitzwater with, who's that, Cole Baker?
Yeah, Cole Baker.
Row number 4, Michael Norman alongside Tristan Allen. Row number 5, Eric Rodriguez and Levi McIntyre. Row number 6, that's Sean Fay in the 24 with Johnny Gardner. Row number 7, Roger Ray with Carter Friesen in the 85. Row number, where am I at? Row 8?
Row 8.
Yeah, row 8.
Row 8, that's Zach Buchanan and Seth Cole. Row number 9, Zach Rogers and Cody Lamas. Row number 10, Joey Murphy and Corey Williams in the 51. Row number 11 is Travis Crampton and James Shelley, one of my picks. Row number 12 is Matthew Rodriguez with Austin Ogo. Row number 13, Dylan Poteet and Lyndon Wright. He has made it, ladies and gentlemen. Lyndon has made it. 26 cars to run tonight's 500.
Yep, certainly will be quite a thrill hill pace car going at an astonishing 55 miles per hour here. Well, we might see that car more than once tonight here, so definitely so, because of stage cautions and maybe even race accidents.
Oh, I already know that we're probably going to be seeing that pace car like around 5 times tonight, maybe more.
I'm looking at maybe 7 or 8, and that's not including the 2 automatic ones we're gonna have.
Oh, if we're counting like all cautions, I'm saying that there's probably going to be like 5 excluding the 2 stage. It's kind of fortunate when you see a wreck, because you kind of just want them to be going green flag the entire way, but when the drivers just get aggressively, as well as that blinking / warping thing, there's just like occasionally no place for the drivers to go, and it's just like all heck breaks loose from there.
I hate to cut you off here, but we're about to take the green flag. Pace car makes the hard left-hand turn. Quick correction, the last stage is going to be 74 laps, because apparently we're going to 154 now. Here we go, green flag in the air. Phil Parker gets us underway in the Daytona 500.
Actually, Tyler Mellon had gone to the to the stage, to the line first, so it's more him. The top line seems to have got a jump. Not sure if that's gonna hold very well though.
We head to DJ onto the back straightaway.
Yep, down the backstretch they go, rounding turn number 2. Tyler Mellon leads the field there with help from Brandon Huck and Phil Parker, the pole sitter, already dropping like a rock early on. Jimmy Powell up to 3rd here with Cole Baker in 4th. A lot of them on that outside line already. Some cars dropping down.
Coming out of turn number 4, Tyler Mellon looking to lead the first lap of the Daytona 500 here, the NNSCRA Daytona 500. It looks like the outside line is where it is going to be today. Mellon leads lap 1 of the 500.
Well, to be and there's there I can. I think I saw like the 11. No, it was the 09 or so that I saw.
Bring out our first caution of the day.
Yeah. So racing back. It seems it's going to be Mellon unless the commentators curse strikes.
Well, it looks like they're really keeping their composure within the top 4 here. Tyler Mellon leading the field. But look at Honkin down the inside, looking for that race lead.
And I literally spoke too soon.
Yeah, you kind of did there. Coming off the corner. Mellon, though, making the run back on the outside. Who's it going to be at the line? It's going to be Mellon by half a car length, taking the first caution today here on lap 3 of 154.
Yeah, it looked like a 2-car wreck. Really minor damage to the 2 of them there, so it won't be too bad for them. So it looks like they're going to be able to keep on going without much of an issue.
We had 2 cars that did not take the green flag. Carson Gum and Jessica Shelton, they are listed a lap down. That was supposed to be our row number 14. I was wondering where they were. So we'll get things sorted out here, and really not much to say after that one, as we got a quick caution out of that. I'm going to try and go back and see what happened.
Basically, the 09s just spun and brought the 02 with him.
You're saying he probably bounced off, but it was against the wall, and I think someone hit him because they just didn't expect that to happen. And yeah, as you mentioned, it looks like Fitzwater got into him there.
I'm running it back here.
Got
Allen was running in 5th, Rodriguez in 7th. I think he's going to get
those 4 fresh tires there.
Yeah, I think he's going to get too much of a shove from the 05, and just the 02 is an innocent bystander there. Man, that 09 caught a lot of air.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's the thing with this Daytona. That's one thing I've yet to have seen in this game. Lots of cars catching air. And you know, the safety thing is those roof flaps, they keep them down on the ground unless they're going too fast, and it's just too much at that point. So the 09 and the 02 two-car wreck to open the race. Definitely better wreck than I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get a big one right out of the gate, but just a two-car wreck. As will any of the leaders pit?
Well, they might try and top off on gas here, but we're not quite sure here. Let's see if we get
They're all running to the inside line here. Henry Sanford, who is only supposed to be commentating the pits, but looks like we might have one. We might have a couple takers
Yeah,
here. They're coming down to you, Henry.
Yeah, I see, like, Jonathan Fitzwater in the 05, Joey Murphy, Corey Williams, Michael Norman, and did essentially a fake pit. Corey Williams coming down as well, same with Cody Lamas, Dylan Poteet, James Shelley, Zach Buchanan, and Sean Fay, Ryan Ray, Austin Ogo, Travis Crampton, Carter Friesen, and Matt Rodriguez. Tristan Allen as well, he was one of the people that got damaged. Carson Gum, Jessica Shelton also coming down. And same with Eric Rodriguez. And I also see Johnny Gardner.
Hang on a second here, Henry. The 51's having trouble there with the 48.
Oh, yeah, true.
There's an issue with them.
Miscommunication, maybe.
Big miscommunication. 48's able to get away, but the 51 has been unable to. Not sure what's up on the 51.
Something broke with his car.
I think the 51 kind of just went. Oh, I think the 51 is kind of in the wall there.
He might be AFK though. That might be the other issue.
Corey Williams.
Yeah.
I think he might also be AFK because he did get his pit stop just fine, but I think he forgot to let go of didn't hold the brake. So
put it in neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Might have been the case too. So we'll get an update on him. I think he'll be all right. But
Matthew Rodriguez also in pit lane still too. So not sure what happened.
Prolonged pit stop on the 57. Not to mention he's out of his pit box, so it might be an issue with him as well. Nope. Now he's going. Nope. So Matt's ready to go, and Corey is back to going as well. So we'll give you a top 10 real quick before we get back to green. Pace lights are out of top of the pace car. Tyler Mallon is first. Brandon Hawkins second. Jimmy Powell third. Cole Baker fourth. Phil Parker fifth. Sixth, Michael Norman. Seventh, Zach Rogers. Eighth, Levi McIntyre. Ninth is Sean Basin. Top 8 stayed out on that pit sequence, and rounding up the top 10 is Jonathan Fitzwater. Rule here in NR, single file restart. So the only time you'll ever see a double file restart is at the beginning. From there, it's single file all the way to the end. So we'll see how this plays out here as the cars are coming off of turn 4. Tyler Mallon, he has led, I think he's led every lap since the drop of the green. So I think, granted, that was not even a lap ago, but we're going to try and have quick cautions today. Check here to the 51 and others. 57 and 51 are making their way to them. 57's on the back straight over where you are, DJ, and here we go. Tyler gets us back under green here on lap 5 with 154.
Yep, there, great start by Tyler there, and Brandon Hawkins not too far behind. Couple cars already going down to the apron there, again going to the back here. A lot of them playing conservative. Austin Ogo, one of the few drivers going to the single file throughout turn 1, couple of them going double file, but Brandon Hawkins back on the bumper of Tyler Mallon here as they round turn number 2, and down the backstretch here yet again. It's a single file train here. Again, I think these drivers are understanding the long-term game here. Dollarton here, as you see the 81 kind of hitting that wall there. I think you might have noticed that here as they round turn number 3 here to conclude lap number 5.
Rogers dives to the inside here, looking to maybe get a run here, but knowing that how the draft works here, he is not going to get anywhere if he doesn't have any friends. And just like that, there he goes, fading to the back of this pack. Mallon maintains the lead coming down to the start-finish line here with Hawkins in second. And as they continue to run around here, yeah, you're right, the single file running, that's how things need to go as they come to you, DJ.
Yep, Tyler Mallon again still leading this pack. Nobody really making dives to the inside quite yet. Pretty much everybody else near the mid-pack to the back are not really making moves. And pretty much a single file train. That's not really much we can say from there, but they're all hooked together in this pack. So maybe they might have some issues here later in the race, but a matter of fact, they're cooperating quite well.
Again, Rogers trying to get an inside line working here. He's got Fitzwater there on the inside, but I don't think a pack of 2 is going to do it. But as soon as I said that, it looked like Sean was going to go to his inside, but he didn't. Mallon leads yet another lap here. Good run so far for that 08 car. Shades of De Benedetto from the actual 500. De Benedetto.
That's Norman.
That's Michael Norman.
Oh, look at Faye. There he goes. Can he save it?
Can
Oh,
Faye
no, they
save it?
crash
No, we got
behind him.
cars
That's
around. The
Norman
three's in
spinning
it.
around. Cody Lamas gets
Lots
it
of
behind.
cars.
He slams the wall, and that's Lyndon Wright in the back as well. Caution out on the racetrack. Their car's trying to slow down Tristan Allen. We saw him get in the first wreck. He's in another wreck again.
Brandon Hawkins trying to make a pass on the lead.
Yep,
Yes.
racing him back down towards the line.
Brandon Hawkins trying to get it on the outside. Mallon again trying to use the outside line to his advantage to maintain the lead coming to the yellow, and he will do so. Roger nearly got, no, excuse me, is that, no, that's not Roger, 81.
Powell.
Powell, thank
third.
you. See, I told you in the pre-race I was going to mess some names up, but Mallon maintains the lead coming to the yellow, our second caution of the day here on lap 8 of 154. It looked as if these guys were going to save it at first, but it ended up not being the case. No one altered right in the pit. So, looks like everyone was able to drive away from that wreck. I think Lyndon Wright got the worst of it. Nope, we already have a car out of the race.
Lamas
Cody
out of the
Lamas
race.
has put the car behind the wall. Our first retiree of the afternoon. Will the 66 do the same? No, he's going to try and keep going with the with a very big rear damage. Michael Norman, he's got here in the pits here. He's got some rear damage as well. So a tough break for Cody Lamas. 8 laps into this one, and he is already done.
So list of those involved: the 02, the 66, the 3, the 24, and I want to say the 48 and the 09.
Yes, the 3 has actually parked it for the night as well. Wheel issues on the 3. He let me know prior to the race that he will join us in the broadcast booth. So we're going to give him what our other colleague, James Qualls, was going to have him do, so we'll work some things out. And, we'll go ahead and work that out right now as these guys are underpacing right now. You're watching the NNSCRA Daytona 500 live on the NNSCRA Sports Network. Okay, I know they can still hear us, but let's work that out when Michael comes in here.
Yeah.
Henry, you can keep the pits.
Okay.
Let me think. I guess I can take what I'm doing. Exit of, well, no, hold on. Yeah, I can do exit of 4, front stretch all the way into 1. Michael can get 1 through 1 and 2, and I guess halfway down the back stretch. I guess.
Yeah, I can do halfway, like 3.
And then you can take it over halfway coming out of 4. Wait, I'm trying to see if that's even. I'm trying to see.
The front stretch is a pretty big chunk, though, so I mean.
Let's see. I think, okay, let me think. I'll just take exit of 4, entering the short chute, and then Michael can take that going to halfway. No.
Take turn 4 and all the way to the start finish, and after that I can take over, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
Norman can take
there you
over.
go. Exiting 4, I'll take it to the start finish line.
I can do the start finish line to turn 1, or unless you want to keep me to stay in the back stretch here.
Tell you what, let me bring Michael in.
That might be better off.
Yeah, it probably would be better to go and talk about what the heck we're doing once we have the other person actually in here.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Michael. Hey.
Hi.
We're gonna bring you into the booth here. I know we're still live here. But we're trying to work. Before we get back to green here, we were trying to work out, since we're doing the MRN style broadcast, where we want to put you.
All right, say that again.
Since we're doing the MRN style broadcast, we're looking to find a place to put you. I mean, what we were doing was.
Actually, I'm gonna be off tracking with Seth.
Oh, you're off tracking? Okay. Bye bye.
Okay.
I'll move you back
Yeah.
down. All right, that saves us some trouble.
User left your channel.
Yeah, it does.
Alrighty, so welcome back. Thank you for listening to that dialogue. I know it acted like as if we were off here, but we're going to stick with what we got since Michael's going to off track for us now that he is out of the race. So yeah, of the cars involved, the 3 and the 48 are the only 2 that have it into the garage area. We might bring Cody Lamas in here a little later. He has not left our team.
Yeah.
We'll bring him in here. See if he wants to say anything here. We'll do that under the green flag run. So again, Tyler Mallon leading this race. Brandon Hawkins second, Jimmy Powell third, and Cole Baker fourth. Fifth is Phil Parker, the pole sitter. Rest of the top 10 are Zach Rogers, Levi McIntyre, Zach Buchanan, James Shelley, and Corey Williams. So this is going to be interesting. Phil, well, I don't know what he's trying to know. Well, what's he doing here? Oh, now he's back in line. So we're going to come to the line here, completing lap 9 of 154. Mallon's led them all. It's been a low amount. Feels like an eternity so far, but Mallon gets us back underway in a bad start for Jimmy Powell.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, certainly so. Bad start there from the 81. He might have been caught sleeping. Look at Phil Parker going to the bottom there. He wants to make a move around Cole Baker. Will Rogers follow that 14 car there? Phil Parker going to the bottom there. He wants to take P3 there. Rogers will commit to that 14 there. The Mobile 1 Ford Mustang there, but it looks like that outside line having a lot more power off the corner there. Look at the run they got off the corner there. And down the backstretch there, Tyler Mallon continuing to really hold dominance here at Daytona. Look at Brandon Hawkins going down to the inside there. He's wanting to take the race lead there. And in a turn number 3, car number 3.
Brandon Hawkins wanted the move on the inside of Tyler Mallon. No friends went with him. Phil Parker's at the tail end of this line. That's his only friend. At the moment, he'll have to slide back in line as Mallon has made that outside line work. Or is it just the fact that these guys have just not had any friends going to the inside line? As here they come into one, Mallon. They run Mallon, Powell the third, Baker, Rogers, and McIntyre. 3 veterans running behind those 2 young guns.
I would say so. There's not much help there. Also, maybe the inside line just isn't the way to go here. Just all these drivers are just stuck up high, just like we've seen in the real-life races at Daytona. And maybe there's just more grip there. Maybe the tires aren't worn as much, but also just due to the sheer downforce these cars have underneath their belts here. And again going to the inside with help from Zach Buchanan this time around. So they're trying to find something with that inner groove there. Actually trying to use the middle lane that time around.
Tyler Mallon bringing them back down around to complete lap 11 of 154. Remember, we talked about at the top of the program, stages are lap 40 at the conclusion of lap 80 and then all the way to the end of 154. So 40, 40, 74. These guys, they have been running pretty conservative so far, other than the 2 big wrecks that we had. Even then, we only had 2 retirees. As they head back down the back straightaway, Mallon leads them off of 2.
Yep, Tyler Mallon still leading the field there. Powell right behind him. Pretty much the Black Diamond cars are working together here. 1 and 2. Cole Baker still sitting comfortably in that 3rd spot. Levi McIntyre has been navigating his way towards the field. He's going to go to the inside. He's looking for that 4th position there. An aggressive move from the Citgo Ford Mustang as they round turn number 4.
McIntyre didn't really have a lot of help coming off the corner there as he just did not have much momentum helping him out there. I think that's the 98 of Brandon Hawkins that was trying to get him up there. But once again, they'll have to get back to single file. Got about, let's see here, 17 cars up in this lead pack as 18th on back has decided to pull back and play conservatively as here they come again off the back straightaway into 2. Off of 2. Off.
Yeah, I would say they're aware of the stage caution, and at the end of lap 40 here, you see Zach Rogers now making a move to the bottom there. Phil Parker's going to follow on suit there. Actually, he stays up high. Rogers wanting to go a bit, really close of Cole Baker there, maybe trying to find some side draft there in that 6 car.
There we go, coming off the corner again. We were going to try and get Cody Lamas in here, but he has left our server, so we'll hopefully have to get to him another time. At the end of this one. We might try to get Michael here in a little while. I know he might be off tracking, so we might not be able to get him either. We'll see if we can get some other people in here. So here's a quick question here as they continue to run here onto the backstretch for both of you. They've been running it pretty conservative so far. And what about actually? I'm more concerned about the guys in the back. What are their mindsets?
I think, again, they're really thinking of the bigger picture here. And really, like I said, they're aware of that stage caution. But the only issue with that is because they're so far behind, they could be victimized to being 1 lap down. And that is not good because, let's say a caution does come out in the middle of, like, this run, and they're all lapped out. One of them is only going to be able to get their lap back. And if they're lucky, they could get a wave around. But even so, the fuel window is so tight here in this race like you said, around the 25 lap mark, 20 to 25 laps, to say the least there. That is really the main concern. Fuel is going to be a big priority in this race. As you see there, Phil Parker going to the bottom here. But yeah, I would say they're really thinking of the stage caution here. They know that they want to keep their cars in one piece. So I think that's really their main goal at the moment.
Yeah, I think that they're much more worried about just trying to make sure that they can get to the end of the race. Because, well, yes, you want to have good track position. You also want to be there right at the end of the race. And if you're up in the lead pack and then get involved in a wreck, unfortunately, like Micah Norman, and you can't really win the race if you're out.
We've had our first lead change in the afternoon, our first different lap leader than Tyler Mallon. Those guys have made the inside line work. Brandon Hawken is nearly clear in the lead. He had a lot of help from Zach Rogers and Zach Buchanan.
Yep, Tyler Mallon getting a shove on the back switch here. Look at the amount of power that 08's got with help from behind. The 81 right behind there. Cole Baker still giving it a shot. Trouble in the back there. Oh, goes the 20 slamming the outside wall. Another car spinning. That is James Shelley in the Monster Energy Toyota. He manages to get the car safe and then gets hit by Crampton there. Caution is out. Ogo with a lot of back-end damage to his 20 car there, and a tough break for a driver that's been returning to the online spectrum of NR.
So we got our Blame Shelley inspired wreck. Let's take a look at what actually occurred with that.
I'm going to back it up here. I'm going to see what exactly happened. The first car I saw around, I think, was the 20.
Yep.
It started on the back straightaway. The 71's running behind the 20, and he's just going to hook the
Nasty
20
shot.
up into the fence and turn him. McIntyre did a great job missing that wreck. And due to that happening, though, Shelley had it saved, but then the apron here at Daytona, it just turns you around like a top. As the 71 does go around, Roger Ray did a good job missing this one, too. And those guys at the back, they were really smart to be further back, because thinking they were still conglomerated up here with everyone, it would have been a much bigger wreck than the three-car wreck that we had. The 71, the 46, and the 20 were the only cars involved, and it doesn't look like...
Well, the 46 hit it towards the end, but it was essentially still like only 4 or 5. It still was not nearly as big as what it could have been, so definitely the track position of being like very far behind and did help them, of course, in just like avoiding that wreck.
Pace car catches up here, the Dodge Challenger pace car, driven today by our good man, Brett Bodine. He is still out in front of this race. Sorry, I cut you off there. What's up?
Brett Bodine doing a great job there, hauling that pace car there, showcasing the power that car has in store. Managed to get that car still up the banking there, so it gives them a lot of credit there. So they found some grip on those tires as well.
Well, I swear, he's been doing it ever since he retired, so I'm sure he's had a lot of experience doing it. So yeah, third caution of the day, lap 17 and 154. We had a bit of a good green flag run going there. It just fell apart there at the end. Just poor driver error at that point. It's pushing him too hard. I mean, you got to look at the real 500 as some of the leaders are heading to the pits. We'll get to my point in a second. We'll go to Henry Sanford, who's in Zach Buchanan's pit.
Yep. So the people coming down are the 4 of Zach Buchanan and the 51 of Corey Williams, the 9 of Jessica Shelton, the 14 of Phil Parker, the 84 of Ryan Ray, the 31 of Dylan Poteet, the 24 of Sean Fay, the 19 of Carson Gum, the 71 of James Shelley, the 57 of Matt Rodriguez, the 02 of Eric Rodriguez, as the 7 of Johnny Gardner, the 10 of Joey Murphy, as well as the 85 of Carter Friesen. And there's the 46 as well.
Corey Williams wins the race off of pit road. It looked like as if Zach Buchanan had a bit of a prolonged stay there in pit. So he is still sitting in there, maybe trying to nurse some damage. No, now he comes off there. He was the first one into the pit, so not a good pit stop.
Actually, Corey Williams was the winner of the pit road race.
What did I say? Did I say Corey? Or did I say something else?
I thought you said something else.
Oh, okay.
And I apparently forgot to say the 77 of Seth Cole was down there as well. And apparently I forgot Lyndon in the 66 as well.
Austin O goes out of this race now, so we have 3 cars out of the race. O go out of it due to a crash with contact from James Shelley in turn 3, sending that 20 car for a spin. He also had issues under caution. He hit the, I believe, the 24 car of Sean Fay, so damage to the 24 car, so unlucky break for him as well. Pace car lights are off. It is the one to go signal, so we're going to have another green flag run, hopefully, in store for us.
So before we get back to green, I'm going to try and get Austin in here and get his explanation of what happened. Hi, Austin. This is the guy from the broadcast booth. Just wanted to get your input there as you're not out of the race. What happened out there? Just was it just a racing deal, or what happened?
I had a flat tire and I was going too fast. Couldn't slow down in time.
Oh wow! I mean, us in the booth couldn't see that. We thought just Shelley had just gotten into you, and it was just a racing deal there. I mean, a tough break for you, but you had a good run going. I mean, what'd you think of your run overall? I know it was a short run as leaders are coming back here to take the green. What'd you think?
I was mostly just trying to stay in the back, but it was a decent short race until that happened.
Alrighty, got you. Leaders are coming back to the green here. Thank you, Austin, for coming in. Tough break for you. Hope to see you back here soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
User was moved out of your channel.
Leaders have taken back the green flag here. Tyler Mallon leads them here as we have completed 18 of 154. As here they come again, going single file. Very smart to do so. As the 08 continues to lead with Jimmy Powell and the 98 to Brandon Hawken helping him down as they come down to the back straightaway to DJ. Back. I think we've lost DJ.
As you see there, rounding turn number 3, sorry, like there, Tyler Mallon still leading a single file train there, but it looks like they really caught themselves up there. And Levi McIntyre trying to really catch that little train itself.
Alright, we're going to have to get with the guys in the back here to work on our sound thing. Mallon continuing to lead. He's been doing very well since the drop of the initial green flag of the day. We are, guess what, guys? We are at the halfway point stage number 1. It's hard to believe that, but it seems like much longer with the 3 cautions we've had.
Certainly so.
Yes, as Rogers makes a move to the inside, nobody's to go with him as they come down the back straightaway.
Yep, Tyler Mallon still getting a nice shot from Powell. These two might be the inseparable duo here in this race, with Hawken really being the only one of the few drivers to make a move to the bottom there. You see Tristan Allen up top, great recovery for the first caution, but it's Tyler Mallon still leading that high line here at Daytona.
Rogers nearly slid up there into the 11. They're coming out the corner. One of the lone dodges in the field today. Mallon continuing to lead. He's got a push from Powell. Hawken is the 11 of Cole Baker. And the 09 of Tristan Allen, who I think DJ had mentioned, who was involved in that earlier wreck. And he has made his way inside the top 5. So obviously that damage has not hindered him as much as it has to Eric Rodriguez, who's currently running in the back right now. He's currently last car on the racetrack, 25th, 9.8 seconds back as they come down the back.
Yep. Eric Rodriguez had damage in his crash, but we've got more comers up near the first pack. Jessica Sheldon has made her way up into the main pack. Dylan Poteet as well. We still have also Seth Cole in that main pack as well. But again, a highline fest so far here at Daytona in Stage 1.
Man, Corey Williams made a hell of a move going to the inside line as Baker gets the wall there, and that's going to back the inside line up. Hawkins picked up on that immediately. He's trying to get in front of the 81 of Jimmy Powell III, maybe trying to make a run and get the lead. He's the only one that has been able to challenge the 08 today so far in this one as we come down here 1 and 2. We got about a 15 car back here. The tail end of the group here is Seth Cole as the inside line has now formed here on the inside, coming off the turn number 2 and onto the back straightaway. Over to you.
Look how stacked up they are. Powell hit the wall there. They're really getting dicey on the backstretch there, making fender contact there. Joey Murphy and Tristan Allen made a bit of contact there, but look at Hawken leading that inside line. A lot of help here to get that inside line to work. And for Hawken's case, this could be the opportunity for him as they're 3 wide off of turn 4.
Man, that is getting really close off the corner. Contact between the 51 and the 08. Nearly went 3 wide with Rogers, and I'd said in the pre-race, you do not want to go 3 wide here, and there we go. Big wreck.
Oh my goodness.
That 09 caught air.
Everybody. that's a lot of the front runners there. Levi McIntyre with a lot of damage. Joey Murphy's car destroyed. He was one of the few cars, I believe, that flipped over. Tristan Allen, his car's demolished. Look at the damage to the Golden Corral machine. Looks like Kit won't eat free after all for that wreck. But a massive crash here at Daytona, taking out a lot of drivers there. And I believe that all started against that outside wall.
That's definitely how it started here. Battle coming back to take the caution flag, our 4th caution of the day. And we are going to have a different leader coming to the stripe. Malin lost the lead on the back straightaway. It's going to be Brandon Hawkin leading them back to the caution flag at lap 24 of 154. So definitely a horrible crash on the front straightaway in the short shoot, as we call it here in the business. Lyndon Wright, lots of rear end damage, more than he already had. Tristan Allen, his car was able to continue, but I don't think that car will be up to par going forward. He might call it a night.
A lot of drivers are probably going to call it a night, honestly. With
lots of drivers might call it a night after this. I think a few cars got involved here. We're going to back it up here. As it was Jimmy Powell III was the car that was bounced off the wall. He was the first car that was around on the front straightaway here. To try and get a good view of what happened, Baker dives to the inside as Powell got the wall.
He was trying to. I think it's just like the 81 got stuck to the wall so much. Like, you know, that wall kind of was like glue. And just the spectacular crash. Tristan Allen went in the air, all 4 wheels off the ground. Cole Baker had some nice air as well. Levi McIntyre, though, slammed the inside wall there. That kind of that end.
There's no safer barrier over there.
Yeah,
so the
you're
99,
right.
He's definitely done for the night as he just pancaked that wall. On the inside, Phil Parker, and then, of course, Tristan Allen. The 11's got a heck ton of damage. I think just about everyone else missed the wreck. I could be wrong.
I think James Shelley spun actually trying to get the car slowed down, so we might have to look at him, and I think he got hit by Lyndon Wright,
I think
though.
the 24 actually got a piece of the wall, too, trying to slow down. The 85 just missed the 99. So, man, just a horrible crash in the front straightaway that is more than likely taking out 3 of our 4 competitors tonight. We're going to see what it's going to look like going forward as everyone's trying to get situated.
Yeah, as Levi McIntyre is confirmed to be out due to that wreck.
As Michael, back on our
if I may, I'm going to intrude on you guys real quick and say, for fun reference, if you guys want to take it when you guys are looking back at this wreck, right on board with Jess. You might have a fun time.
Might have had a good avoidance there. We'll have to look into that.
And we'll take a look here. We're going to take a look at a couple different angles.
Yeah, and Brian Hawkins, and essentially a lot of people who just went down after the caution. And Jonathan Fitzwater being one of the only ones that I am seeing that has actually stayed out. I think everybody else went and came down. Lyndon Wright is returning into the pits. So I know I saw him just like come down right before the caution. Eric Rodriguez is staying out as well. And Tristan Allen, and I think led the race off pit row.
So yeah, Tristan Allen's parked the car now, and we're gonna take. I'm gonna ride with Jessica Shelton here. I'm gonna give you guys my input of what happened with her when the wreck happened. As they're coming down into turns, coming towards turns 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The 81 was spinning right in front of her. The 2 cars right there that went in the air, the 09 and the 11, they went high in the air. Jessica just did a phenomenal job avoided the 99 spinning in front of her, and then just did an excellent job avoiding that wreck. So we're going to give an Allstate good hands move of the race so far, and be Jess doing that right there. You can only imagine what was going through her mind. Oh, we have a little bit of contact here on the back here. 14 just ran into the 19. 19 is Carson Gum, is a guy we haven't really talked about tonight. And before we get back to the green here, we're going to bring in Levi McIntyre, who has already taken his car behind the wall.
And I am also going to be showing a ride along with the 99 during this race. Oh, sorry, during the last caution.
Which room was he in? Which room was he in?
Not sure.
Well, look in your team speak. Which room is he supposed to be in?
Let me make sure I can't really exit out my game, honestly.
Oh, Henry, can you check?
For what?
Hang on, I'm just going to bring him in here and I'm going to ask him what room he was in.
Let me see. Let me check. Let me see if I can get you here. Phil Parker is in Team SB right now.
Thank you. Oh, thank God. All right, let me try and get Levi in here. I know we're about to take the green.
We can get closer once we get to the backstretch. We can.
Yeah, and I know that on Levi's onboard, I know that I just saw that at 81 just seemingly come out of nowhere on his car, and then he just went right into there. So, it should be a very interesting view from his point of view.
Are you back live, Henry?
Yeah.
Okay. Fitzwater is leading him around here. He took. I think Henry's right. He didn't pit. He didn't pit one bit. And surprising thing out of that, only one retiree, and that was Levi McIntyre. We'll bring him in here.
Car on the wall for turn 2 there. Phil Parker found the outside wall there. You see just the difference in speed with the cars with damage and those without damage. So, might be survival of the fittest here. Rogers there in turn 3 here. Let's see if we can get Phil Parker here with our crew here in a bit.
Not Phil Parker, Levi.
Or Levi, excuse me. Thank you.
Yeah, let's get Levi McIntyre in here. All right, Levi. Unfortunate thing that happened for you in this race. You're already out of the race. Our 4th retiree from the race. Give us your vantage point of what happened out there.
Well, first of all, we had a solid car. We probably could have got a top 10 out of that if we had gotten out of trouble, but saw the 81 car get spun around up at the front, and whenever I tried to go low to avoid, the 81 was right there, and I had nowhere to go, and we just got the wall. And it's a shame because my luck with these special events, I think the only special event I've really ever finished was like 2 of them. I was hoping to come through with something tonight, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be.
Man, tough break for you. We were talking about you. You're running up there. You were surprising us, staying up there, keeping up with those guys. Unfortunate break for Levi McIntyre tonight. Out of the race, he will officially finish in 25th. Thank you for joining us. And we hope we'll see you around pretty soon with more events to come.
User left your channel.
Yep, and so back here at Daytona, lap number 28 of the event here. Still have a long ways to go here, and we're not quite done with stage 1. Rogers with the lead here. Dylan Poteet second with Brandon Hawken in that third spot. He's led a lot of the race. He is down to 8th.
We have one more retiree to announce. Cole Baker has put his car behind the wall. Too much damage on his machine. And the guy who I thought was going to leave the race, he is still going to muscle it out there. Tristan Allen running 1 lap down in the 09 with no hood, no front end. And as you said, Zach Rogers now has assumed the race lead, one of the lone challengers in this field today, with Dylan Poteet, longtime veteran, running right behind him, and Brandon Hawken, the young gun, in 3rd. Zach Buchanan, we were talking about him before the caution there in 4th, and running in 5th, well, for a moment, was James Shelley, and now is Corey Williams as they go back to you, DJ.
Yep, down the backstretch here. Looks like Zach Buchanan now making a move to the bottom underneath Brandon Hawken there, trying to use the air. Dylan Poteet will now commit to the bottom here, so now an exchange for the race lead between Hawken and Poteet there. Corey Williams going to follow on suit here. 3 versus 1, 4 versus 2. And it looks like things might go in the right direction for Poteet.
As soon as you say that, Mallon picked the high line to go with, and then Poteet's going to lead his first lap of the day. But right now, it's Rogers. It's a dead heat here coming at the front. Got a pack of about, I'd say about, I'm trying to see here, 11 cars.
Yeah, 11.
As the cars that are further back there have either no damage and we have another driver in the garage area now. That's the 10.
Joey Murphy.
That's Joey Murphy.
Yeah,
He
Joey
is
Murphy.
his car behind the wall. That's our 6th retiree of the night, leaving us 22 cars on the racetrack, 21 on the lead lap. 66 looks like the pace along with the 02.
Yep, Zach Rogers still leading the field off of turn 4 here. We're getting close to the end of stage 1 here. It's going to be 10 laps to go.
And Tristan Allen coming into the pit road as they're wrecking.
Everybody.
Actually did not look that bad. I hope those guys that are on the back, that were lagging back, hope they see this and slow down.
Shelley, though, a lot of damage to this car. He might have had the worst of it of all of them.
Rogers, lots of rear end damage to his machine. The leader coming to the line. Yeah, Shelley's got a lot of damage. There goes my pick.
I think a lot of our picks got destroyed in the early stage here.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to get a look at Shelly. Yeah, that whole rear end is just destroyed.
And Rogers, you mentioned, had a lot of rear end damage too.
Yeah, and luckily for Tristan Allen, he actually went down pit road, so he didn't have to worry about that crash whatsoever.
And so since the wreck coming to the line, there is no race back. Poteet was the leader coming to the stripe. He crossed the line as the caution came out. With 9 laps to go, we'll be at the line. It'll be 9 laps to go in the stage. So tough breaks for a few drivers there like Zach Rogers, but it looks like his car is still keeping a decent speed. Don't know how that team's going to be able to recover. These guys up here, they got to slow down. Pace car's still at the end of the turn, barely entering turn 3 here, so these guys running 30 miles an hour, so these guys trying to blow up. Looks like Rogers,
He's pretty slow.
I don't know what Rogers is going to do here. I think he's waiting. I think he just really wants to get the pit.
I think he got scored second across the line.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
So, despite getting wrecked, he did get scored second. I just saw that. So, man, I think what number is this? Caution number 5? Caution.
Yeah, we're really caution in the first stage.
Yeah, I think that was like caution number 5 as like.
We'll consider it caution number 5. So Rogers, a lot of damage. He was the leader coming
more
to.
Caution, more carnage in the back there. Shelton's out of control there. On the bottom, might have gotten ran over there. Or actually, I think she might have spun it by herself, actually.
I don't know. 7's down in the grass. Collecting some dirt for us. You gotta check the dirt samples after the race.
There's gonna be nobody left in this race without damages.
So yeah, the way that's going, so if everyone has damage, it pretty much even playing.
Evens it out.
Everybody's in, Henry.
Yeah. I'm not really seeing anybody really behind the pace car, so.
Poteet's in here. 51 is in. Just everybody's in, and it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Poteet's strategy. He's going all 4 tires, the leader. Interesting here. Trouble in the pits. Gardner missed his pit.
Oh, look at Phil Parker. Oh, well, I thought he was actually being the race out. My bad. Bill Poteet being the first one out there. Hawkins second. Corey Williams third. Those are the few drivers that actually got through the wreck unscathed, though the 98 did get in the back of Zach Rogers there, but even so, those cars don't really look much damage in terms of hindrance and aerodynamics.
Yeah, and so Dylan Poteet won the race off pit road. Brandon Hawkins being second.
Alright guys, an unfortunate thing has happened. I've been requested to go somewhere by my family, so I'm going to have to pass it off to you guys until I can return. I hope to be back, so I'll miss the rest of this stage, and I'll probably be back at probably the halfway point the way these guys have been racing, so you two got it going from here.
Yeah, fair enough, because like we probably will be exceeding way over any of our expectations for cautions. It's unfortunate, but it's probably gonna happen. I'm just calling it right now.
So I should return in half an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the race as it goes forward. DJ Curtis, Henry Samper, this race is passed off to you until I return.
All right, 10-4 here, Dalton.
Yep.
Take care. Be safe for the time being if you're back in time. So hopefully we can get a good race in show here. Dylan Poteet leads the field down here for the green flag here. We still have plenty of laps to go here. We're still under yellow, to say the least. 1 lap to go in terms of the pace laps here. But Brandon Hawkins second, Corey Williams in third here. It shows Hawkins 15th, but it will be scored once we cross the line here. And Crampton, TJ Crampton running in the 4th position here. Quiet run for the 46 car here for the Chevrolet Camaro there, with Powell, who got swept up in the crash, in 5th. Ace car is going to be off here. A couple cars getting a bit scrambly behind them here. But it's Dylan Poteet, though. Lead us down here. Watch the restart zone. And there it is. Green flag back in the air here for the Daytona 500. We've only got 6 laps to go, 8 laps to go in stage number 1.
Yeah, it's definitely has been shaping up to be a very interesting race. Unfortunately, I kind of wish that there was much less people that were out, but it's also Daytona, so like essentially what can you really do about it?
I think we would have expected like drivers to be a lot more conservative early on. I think me, Darton, and you, we all like discussed this in the pre-race before the race started. That these drivers were gonna at least try and be considered, but so far we've seen drivers just make simple mistakes as getting against the wall. And like I mentioned, that wall is basically glue. So if you get stuck up there, you're basically stuck there for quite a while. And I think these drivers just were in unfortunate circumstances for them to get swept up early on. A couple of these wrecks have been silly, maybe a bit too silly for our liking, but even so, it's still Dylan Poteet leading the field. Hawkins in second, Williams in third. These drivers have been the ones that haven't really gotten swept up in wrecks, to say the least. But we still have a good amount of cars still in the running and in contention for this win.
Yeah, and Tyler Mullen in that 08, he's starting to approach, but unfortunately, it also looks like him and Sean Fay are starting to go and fade a little bit as the 81, and I'm not sure, yeah, he was kind of like warping a little bit down there. Like, I was completely unsure if he was just warping bad or if he was actually down on the bottom line, and yeah, it was more that he was down on the bottom.
Yep. Battle for the lead there. Fitzwater wanting to go to the bottom, but the outside line still remains as the victor here, with Poteet up top, with Hawkins second, and Crampton now up to the third spot. This youngster looking really good in the 46 car. Had issues in one of the early wrecks, but keeping his nose clean so far in the third spot. While the rest of the field, Corey Williams having some issues with his internet. You see the car a bit side by side, a bit wobbly on the track there, so it might be some internet connection issues for Corey Williams, so he's been dropping back. As you see cars trying to fan out and really try and get around each other here as the stage laps wind down.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we never really considered with this race. Just like, I know that I slightly considered that like the warping as well as like the open slots that we had at the start. Those basically are some of the bigger things to just like have a wrench thrown right in, and one of the true tests of Daytona will definitely be to decide well, how they go and handle the warping cars, as well as just like any number of issues. So it is all dependent on just like how do they manage their cars, as well as just like how well can they navigate the track and all of its issues. As well as possibly some people's internet connections. You never really know.
Oh yeah, certainly unpredictable there. Netcode can be a factor here. We talked about that as well. Netcode wrecks are common in online racing here, and this could be no exception. But right now, the four cars are away. Poteet, Hawkins, Crampton, and Fitzwater. That's your top four here. They're getting around Tristan out here. The lap car there with the wheel and modified impression there up his belt.
As he comes down pit road once again.
There's a second pack of cars. You might notice this, Henry. A second pack of cars has been formed here. Mallon, Parker, and the others. Look at Buchanan. Look at the amount of momentum that four car has there compared to Mallon and...
Yeah, the only question with this bigger pack is just like how well do they work together, and do they work together much better than Dylan Poteet, Travis Crampton, and Brandon Hawkins? And though I also see that they're working together with Jonathan Fitzwater, which I did not go and see that there, at least not originally. I think that we all basically just didn't consider like a bunch of different factors. There's one of them also being the lap cars, which I don't think that any of us ever said that in the pre-race, unless I am just absolutely forgetting that, which, to be fair, with me, that really wouldn't be that much of a surprise.
Yep, Corey Williams coming down pit lane. We have 2 laps to go in the stage here. Dylan Poteet still holding his ground over Duncan Crampton and Fitzwater. That's still your top 4. They're all staying single file here. I think they're really, again, thinking of the bigger picture. That's really the big emphasis here in this race. The secondary pack still coming into fruition here as they come to near the end of the first stage. It's the white flag for stage 1 here. Last lap here at Daytona for at least this stage, since we still have a long ways to go. Poteet still in the lead. Will we see anybody make a move down to the bottom?
Yeah, in all honesty, a lot of what it will come down to is just like if it stays like this for the rest of the race, or at least to where the second pack just falls, and there goes Buchanan!
That's Buchanan spinning around. You're right there, the Bluebell machine spinning, or really the Kelly Bluebell machine spinning around there and rounding turn number 4 there. They're going to be side by side there. Oh, Hawken got left out of shape there. But it's Dylan Poteet that's going to win stage 1 of the event here for the NNSCRA Daytona 500. Crampton will be second, with Fitzwater third, and Brenton Hawken fourth, with Corey Williams not being in the top 5, but it's Tyler Mellon that will be 5th.
Yeah, and as I was saying before the crash, or nothing else before that spin, and was if they go and can't work together, and they just keep falling back like that, it's going to be just starting to be a question on how well do they work together. Because one of the very big important factors on this race is teamwork. And it doesn't even really have to be on your team, just so long as you find someone to work with, and just like the people that know how to work with other people, even if they're not communicating whatsoever, that is going to be one of the most crucial parts of this race. And I think that it's going to be one of those things that makes it much more interesting.
I certainly can agree with that. Teamwork is fundamental in super speedway racing here. They could be your teammates, or they could be one of your best friends on the racetrack here. It's a matter of commitment here. Whether they're good coaches or not is also a variable here in super speedway racing. Daytona is no exception to that. We saw what happens when bump traffic goes wrong when Zach Buchanan took a nice spin down the backstretch there. Luckily did not hit anything for that 4 car there, so he's able to keep on going without much of an issue there. But Zach Buchanan is now in a bit of a pickle, to say the least here. But we only have still 2 stages left in the race here, so no matter how they're going to approach stage 2 here, Henry, what do you think is going to happen?
In all honesty, I think that the stage 1 was kind of just like a test for everybody. So I think that was much more just like them experiencing like knowing who to work with, so like who are some of the better people to work with in this case, as well as just how their cars are behaving. And so I think that they have just a much better experience on like how their cars will behave. So I think that we'll be experiencing slightly less wrecks. I can't guarantee no wrecks, but I think that we will be seeing like much more interesting racing, and hopefully less wrecks. But once again, it is Daytona, so anything can happen, and most likely we will go and experience some as Cody Williams is trying to be that pace car.
Certainly trying to intimidate Danny Phantom from the Nickelodeon show. A Nickelodeon show that a lot of kids have loved to watch here. Corey Williams certainly doing a great job playing as a ghost here at Daytona, playing one of those apparitions that we see in haunted shows here. Corey Williams and Phil Parker, they're staying on the track, maybe hoping for a wave around here. But Tyler Mellon is the one leading this race here. You're right about maybe we'll see maybe a wreck or 2, but I think drivers will have learned the capabilities this Daytona track has to offer here. I think a lot of them were caught by surprise in the first stage, which is why we had a ton of crashes early on in the event.
Yeah, I will go and do one correction that I said. Once it was not that Tristan Allen was pitting when I last said it. Unfortunately, he just went and came in and essentially to just park the car. It's kind of unfortunate that you ever have to watch someone park their car, but in all honesty, it's also a fact of racing.
Yeah, that is always a factor racing here. Pace car lights are off here. We pretty much have short pace laps to say the least here, Henry. But again, Tyler Mountain leading the field there. He's been no stranger in leading this race so far. And, well, we got 40 laps for stage 2 here. Well, maybe less than that because of the pace laps and all. But Tyler Mountain will be leading the field off of turn 4. Looks like we're not really getting any kind of wave around here. I'm not sure what's going on over there. Maybe they might extend the caution. We're not sure here, but the pace lights are off. Pace car is in. Stage 2 has begun here as Tyler Mellon leads the field down for the green flag.
Yeah, indeed. And I definitely hear what you're saying, and in all honesty, a lot of different things will occur. Most likely, people have learned, but like, I think that in all honesty as well, while yes, people have learned, and there's also probably going to be those people that are just trying to ever so slightly push the boundaries of what they can do, and like that's it's just going to be when all heck breaks loose. Especially when say you get towards the ending and parts of the stage, every driver just solely trying for those ever so precious stage age points. But like in all honesty as well, like I keep saying, and every driver has to be careful on what they're doing, as if they can't make it to the end of the race, unfortunately they can't go and win.
Yep, you see a battle for the exchange for the lead there. Fitzwater wanted to make a move to the bottom there with Dylan Poteet. Wasn't able to make it work, but look at Crampton going to the bottom there. TJ Crampton now looking on the bottom there. Fitzwater. Fitzwater's kind of stuck down there, but Williams and Poteet file up high here. Crampton looking to make an attempt here. Down the front stretch they go. Mallon still with the advantage. Despite the damage on that 08 car, Mallon still leading the race here and leading that lap that time around.
Yeah, I think that one slight issue with that was like Dylan Poteet going back up to the top line, as you see him just now trying for the lead once again.
Really close there.
What?
Really close racing. I think you saw they almost touched off of turn 2 there. Sorry to interrupt, Henry. Corey Williams and I think Phil Parker have both gotten their laps back. I think actually Phil hasn't, but Corey Williams was the lucky dog, I believe. So that's why he's back in the lead pack in terms of the lead lap. You might notice the leaderboard of Corey Williams up inside the top 5. Looks like Hawkins.
Oh yeah, true. In all honesty, I was gonna say that he was the lap car still, but fair enough. As new leader.
Yep, guard number 98 of Brandon Hawkins leading the way. Corey Williams files back to the outside there. Poteet leading the inside groove there, and watch the run. That 51's gonna get on the back switch there. That peak Mustang there. Look at Poteet. Ooh, a bit out of shape down the back stretch there. Look at Crampton shoving that 31 into turn 3 there. Poteet now to the bottom, looking to see if he can find an area to pass that 98 car there. Try and maybe get to the quarter panel and slow that car down.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the things to pay attention to in this race, in all honesty. Like the top line, like basically essentially both lines act in the same manner, if we're just being honest. As the thing that is much more important on what will make or break the line is essentially how close are the people on the line, as well as how many are there. So essentially the line that will have the advantage and like a bunch of different parts they will go and be the line with the most people, as we see essentially for the most part, everybody just simply freight training either on the bottom or the top. So.
Yep, now it looks like it's going to be a bottom lane fest this time around. We have no takers on the outside line. Looks like actually Tyler Mallon wanting to be the first to do that. Looks like Fitzwater as well. So again, a high line forming yet again here. Poteet still getting the assistance from behind by Crampton there in the 46. Those two are still really trying to tandem with each other here. And Poteet has been no stranger to leading this race as well as Mallon. So these two Chevrolets have been the class of the field so far, as well as Hawkins. There's nobody out of this running yet. We still have a lot of cars without damage that are making their way forward. Carter Friesen, one of the few here. Johnny Gardner. We want to mention them because they've been staying near the back, and I think their formulation of the classic principle of starting in the back, staying in the back, and making their way to the front might come in handy for those drivers.
Staying towards the back definitely is a very valid strategy in Daytona. The only problem with said strategy is once that you get to the ending parts, if you are towards the back, it makes it that much harder to go and win the race. So like always, what you want to do is either be like much towards the front, towards the front, and or towards the back, at least in the early stages of the race. But once that you get towards the 10 to go, just all hell breaks loose as you want to be right up near the front.
Oh yeah, most certainly so, because when the laps wind down, especially once we get to stage 3, drivers will get more and more desperate. They're going to try and find holes that don't exist to get track position here, and when drivers that are in the back try and make their way to the front, mistakes are imminent for these drivers here. Corey Williams getting a nice shot from Crampton there. They're trying to lead the inside line train here, but look at Zach Buchanan on the outside there. That might be the difference in tires for that 4 car here compared to Corey Williams' car.
And a little bit of issues as the 05, who is the current leader, starts blinking. And like we said earlier, internet issues is one of the things that most throws a wrench into the races, as you just never know when they're going to experience. And as Charles Jackson and Charles Sanford both know very well, if you're blinking or ghosting, and you can just you don't know where the other person's at, and then just like the next thing you know, you're right inside each other and just going flying.
Here we go, battle for the race lead here. Corey Williams now getting a shot from Dylan Poteet there, and Williams will lead lap number 51 for car number 51 there, with Corey Williams now P1, the outside line for again. There's not really been a really dominant lane, to say the least. We've seen drivers go single file up in the outside groove, but again, I think these quote-unquote sticky walls here at Daytona have pretty much played into the factor of these drivers kind of getting a bit, I guess, away from that wall. You notice how close they are, but even so, they're a bit more cautious, to say the least, as you see Mao now going to the inside.
Well, I think that one reason for that is because, well, yes, he does know that the top line will work. It works very well. It is also one of those things where he does want to go and at least attempt to pass the leader. Unfortunately, it just did not work out, and as a result, he's unfortunately fading back.
Yep, Williams now on the outside groove there. You see Poteet right on the rear bumper of that 51 car there. They will be coming up towards lap traffic sooner or later here. Eric Rodriguez and Lyndon Wright. They had damage in earlier wrecks there, so they're really just trying to stay out of harm's way here. I'm sure blue flags will fly for those two drivers. Still Corey Williams leading. Zach Buchanan has made his way up to the 3rd position here after a long slide on the backstretch. A great recovery run for Zach Buchanan.
Yeah, we definitely have seen like a bunch of different people that are just absolutely amazing so far in this race. It was just like such as Tristan Allen and I know for a fact that he's out, unfortunately. But I also have to go and say that it was amazing how well he actually was able to stay up. Unfortunately, just didn't work out that well later on, and he just had to cut his losses there.
Yeah, certainly so. And you see there, looks like Buchanan's going to try and get Hawkin to follow in line with the 4-car here. Buchanan going to the bottom. Now he's going to follow Corey Williams. Puts an aggressive block on the 4-car there. Great defense from Corey Williams there. And here comes Poteet back on the outside line there. You see them kind of scattering a bit there, getting closer and closer to each other here. As here they come, you see the 2 Ford Mustangs down at the bottom there of Rodriguez, and right here Williams again with the block on the inside there. If it goes wrong, that could be a big crash in the making for all of these drivers in the main pack.
Oh yeah, cause like as we saw in practice as well. There's occasionally just like people be pagan, and I don't think that they will do. And there goes Tyler Mellon, and they're flying.
Upside down there, and a big crash in turn 1. It's the big one, boys, and more cars plowing, slamming into each other. A pileup ensuing in turn 1, and I believe that is the whole field swept up in it. Besides those
and
cars.
Tyler Mellon is out. Johnny Gardner also out, and probably much more to come.
Shelton's out. They're racing it back down towards the line. Zach Buchanan.
Well, there goes one of my picks.
Hawkin with a run of the lifetime there, side by side, down the front stretch here. Brandon Hawkin has the advantage, and he's going to be the one leading across the line to conclude lap number 56. A big crash in turn 1, as we mentioned there, Henry. I'm not sure what happened there. Something went wrong there in turn 1, and half the field, I'd say more than half the field in that tank, are pretty much destroyed.
Yeah, what it looks to be is just that Malin got spun around by like whoever was right behind him. He just collected Dylan, and they just flew right up the track and collected just a bunch of people.
The 08 had a lot of airtime. You saw the roof flaps deploy on the Interstate Batteries car. Dylan Poteet went for a ride of a lifetime too. Powell in the 81, he slammed the outside wall. Everybody was just trying to avoid harm's way, and just the 81 just basically got the track blocked. Eric Rodriguez in it, Carter Friesen. We mentioned Jessica Shelton, Lyndon Wright. Roger Ray got hit by the back end. In the back end by Matthew Rodriguez there. Carson Gum actually had a good avoidance there. I think he actually got through the wreck unscathed there. So good job for Carson Gum. We don't know. Still in the run, but so many of them with a lot of damage in their cars.
Yeah.
And we're not even at the end of stage 2 yet.
Yeah, just a bunch of damage to a bunch of people. As I saw the onboard of the 85 of Carter Friesen, and a lot of people right there unfortunately had no place to go. 84's on pit road. I'm pretty sure due to damage.
That does help Phil Parker though, because he's going to be back on the lead lap because of that. I believe that. Yeah, that should be correct actually. Phil Parker should be back on the lead lap, ladies and gentlemen, here. So car number 14 is back in the running for contention for this win, and with a lot of cars damaged, this 14 car could now have a good opportunity. This is going to be an easy opportunity for him, and well, really, as well as the other drivers here. I'm really running out of words to say here, but just a huge crash. We're only in stage 2, and
Dylan Poteet is also out.
Is wrecked.
Same with Matthew Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Or nothing else. If they are not out yet, they are going to be at a serious disadvantage, as we can already see the black smoke of death on those 2 cars. So yeah, most likely, whether you want to see them win or not, it's just unfortunately not going to happen. as they were just unfortunate victims of the big one.
Oh, yeah.
As it seems like Brandon Hawkins won the race off pit road.
And we just got a lot of drivers just trying to get that car repaired. There's literally, again, nobody left, I would say. I'd say all the cars still remaining that have a good shot are probably Brandon Hawkins, Corey Williams, Crampton, Parker, Carson Gum, and Seth Cole. I would say those are really the drivers that we're gonna be looking out for, because they've had the least damage of all of them here. Phil Parker, I think I mentioned him as well. He's gonna be able to get back on the lead left, I believe. So if I'm wrong, well, my apologies then. But a lot of cars getting their cars really repaired. A lot of drivers getting them repaired, to say the least. The pit crew's working hard and really working their rear ends out here at Daytona. A massive pileup in turns number 1 and 2, but mostly in turn 1, where half the field got swept up in it. Crash in the backstretch there. Looks like Carter Friesen might have had some issues there. Not sure what happened. He might have gotten ran over. Actually, no, he hit. Actually, he's the one that hit James Shelley. So that's a bit of unfortunate circumstances there.
Yeah, and actually, I stand corrected on Dylan Poteet and Matthew Rodriguez. Well, yes, they had the black smoke of death. Apparently, their pit crews managed to find some way to fix their cars, as they are now able to run. But the question is, can they be caught back up as the leader? As the pace car has come off pit road. Is heading down pit road.
Flag. Brandon Hawkins leads the field down. Corey Williams in second. Crampton third. Look at the breakaway though, Henry, from the rest of the field. It is literally no man's land here at Daytona. It's really just it's been a race of survival.
Oh yeah, in all honesty. Though to be fair, I think that me and Chris Dalton both said it earlier. It's kind of just like, well, yes, we most likely would not want to see it to happen, but in all honesty, I'm pretty sure both me and him expected at least some type of wreck, and unfortunately, as what I had said earlier, it was the or more part, so it's kind of sad to say, but you can't really say anything other than that.
I think also we have to put in the variables is the experience these drivers have. Maybe some of these drivers aren't too familiar with this version of the racetrack. Some Daytonas are very good with the inside line, but others are like this track, where the outside line isn't as, is as powerful as the inside lines. You know what I'm saying though? Like in this scenario, the outside line is the best way to go, as it seems. Just like in real life NASCAR, where we see a lot of drivers kind of hogging that upper groove.
Yes, well, while that is true, I also have been seeing this track, as well as seeing how the other cars have been doing, but I think that they both actually work just about as well as each other. It's just a whole lot more on how well do the cars work and want to work together.
Yeah. We are seeing Seth Cole and Carson Gum make their way upwards towards the field. They've been playing the safe game all race long. Looks like Corey Williams warping a little bit there. You saw him go a bit side by side there. Bit concerning for the 51 car here, but right now it's really a 5-car train, but mostly a 3-car train at this Daytona 500. Everybody else, though, still kind of running in no man's land. Look at the differential of speed between Dylan Poteet and Matthew Rodriguez here, Henry. 140 miles per hour, while you look at the rest of the field, they're about 180 and near 190 miles per hour there. That's about a 50-mile differential.
Gonna interject here, I have returned.
Yep, you missed quite a lot of action here, $1.10 here. We could get a bit of a recap here because right now it's only been a 5-car train. From everybody else, we had some big crashes early on within Stage 1 and Stage 2. We had a recent caution, was a big crash in Turn 1 when Jonathan Fitzwater got into Tyler Mallon, sending him into the path of Poteet, saying those guys all for a wild tumble down the front stretch and into Turn 1. Basically a big one in Turn 1, knocking out a lot of drivers. You'll look through the F2, or really the leaderboard, to see the retirees of those, even with damage.
Yeah, and those retirees would be the 7 of Johnny Gardner, the 9 of Jessica Shelton, and the 05 of Jonathan Fitzwater, or the 08 of Tyler Mallon. Unfortunately, he was a very big contender in today's race, as well as the 84 of like who was that? And I am sorry for forgetting your name, Roger Ray. Yeah.
Yes, he is talking about the 84. That is Roger Ray in the 84.
Roger Ray.
Yeah. 5 cars since I had left the broadcast booth for a brief moment. I had out of the race. I'm gonna see if I can get any of them in here. Alan's speakers are muted. Roger's always muted.
Yeah.
Fitzwater, I probably could get him. And then also I could get Jess in here too, but I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, no, Jess left.
Yeah, Jess left.
So looks like I'm only gonna be able to get Fitzwater. Or I can get Gardner too, but we'll get Fitzwater first. While we have a bit of a break in the action here with Corey Williams out in front here. We're just past halfway through the second stage. Let's see, let me get Fitzwater in here. Put him in the wrong room, of course.
Let me check which room.
User was moved to your channel.
Hi, Fitzwater. This is Chris Dollarden up at the NNSCRA broadcast booth. I just got back here and found out that you were in a wreck. Carrie, give me a breakdown of what happened out there. What happened?
Yeah, I was pushing Tyler into turn 1, and I pretty much got into his right quarter panel and decided it would be a good idea to not let off the throttle. I pretty much pulled a Paul Menard, if you want to pin it that way.
I see what you're saying. I mean, sometimes it can be described as a racing deal. I mean, it happens out there sometimes. Interesting, good performance for you throughout the race. You were leading at one point before I had to step out of the booth. What are your thoughts? Do you think you'll be able to? What are your thoughts on how do you think you did overall prior to the wreck?
I think I was doing pretty solid. I mean, I was in the back for a bit of the first half. Like, I was around top 15 at the best for the first half of the race, but I started pulling up later in the race before I wrecked.
Yeah, tough break out there for you. Good runs up until that point tonight. Thanks, Jonathan, for joining us. Which room were you in?
I was in Sean Fay Motorsports.
Got it. All right, thank you for joining us, and hope to see you back here soon in more events to come.
Yeah,
User was moved out of your channel.
Before we get to Gardner, Curtis, go ahead and call the race for a bit more. I gotta go grab something.
All right, 10-4 here. Corey Williams continuing to lead here at Daytona. A quiet race after these big crashes. It's really settled down the field. I guess you can say the term of natural selection has come into fruition here. Darwin's principle in a nutshell there. So Corey Williams being one of the few drivers that has survived the carnage and early stages of Daytona here. TJ Crampton, I think a lot of people thought he'd get swept up in early wrecks, but he's running in the second spot. Brandon Honkin has been a front runner all race long. He's in the third position here with Carson Gum and Seth Cole running fourth and fifth. We haven't talked about them all race, but there hasn't really been much to talk about since they've been in the back. But now they're running in top 5 positions here with an equal opportunity to win this race.
Well, that's kind of why I went and set him as one of the as one of my picks to win. And unfortunately, I knew that Michael Norman, Jessica Shelton, and Seth Cole all had what it took to make it to the end, as well as to win this race. Unfortunately for Michael Norman and Jessica Shelton, and they were a victim of circumstances and just got swept up in wrecks and got taken out. Seth Cole has been able to avoid all these wrecks so far and has been able to keep a pretty clean race car, and so he's been able to make it right back up to the front despite running towards the back for most of the field. So that was pretty much one of the main reasons why I picked him. As we see, just as like you said, we just saw natural selection take away most of the drivers that were being a little bit too aggressive too soon. But so long as they know, that is all it takes to win this race.
All right,
Yep.
I have returned here. We are on lap 64. You were saying, DJ?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, we've had a lot of drivers just get taken out of wrecks early on here. Corey Williams still leading the way here to start lap number 70. We're getting close to the end of stage 2 here, Darlington. What do you think these drivers, do you think anybody's going to make a move around Corey Williams here to maybe get that stage win?
If I'm any of the guys here, like the 46 of Frampton,
Yeah,
it's Frampton in the second spot.
and then of course the 98 of Brandon here, then the 19 of Carson Gum. He's made his way up here, and Seth Cole as well. If I'm any of these guys, if I'm the 2 right there, the 4 and the 5th spot, I wait a bit. If I'm any of them, I wait a bit. Wait until 2 laps to go. And in typical NASCAR form, the pits would close at that point, but not in this case. But at 2 laps to go, I'd wait to make your moves. I would even wait till the last lap of the stage to make any moves on Corey Williams or anyone who is the leader at that point if this does not stay the way it is. I do have a quick question about the drivers 6th through 9th. Are they off the pace or are they lagging back?
I think they're off the pace here. Zach Buchanan might be the only maybe exception, as well as Phil Parker. They might be the only 2 exceptions here because I think they just caught a bad break on the restart there that time around. You see, actually, we're going to focus back on the leaders here. Look at the lap traffic right near that 51. They're all ganged up on the bottom.
Good move by those guys that are about to, well, one of them's about to go a lap down. That's James Shelley. Look at the move here the 98's going to make here. He's going to try and split the middle 3 wide on these guys.
Move.
Oh, wow. What a move by the 98.
They might have communicated
Brandon
something
Hawkin.
there.
So much for my prediction of making a move. He makes the move right to the lead, and now he's the sitting duck.
I think those drivers are communicating with each other here, Dalton. Maybe they're all trying to work together. Maybe think of that 3rd stage near the end of it, because there's some issues near the back there. One car was out of control there. That was Powell the 3rd there. I think we saw that.
I'm going to back up just a second here and see what happened. I think he may have spun. That might have not brought out the caution. He did spin. 85 got into him, but he saved it. That's why we're not under the yellow. He got nudged. He did not go all the way around. He saved it. And if I was him, I would have just let the car spin and keep it off the wall, bring out a yellow. But interesting there as the 85 got into the 81.
Might want to look for the battle for the lead here of Dollarton. They're going at it.
Yes, they are. 51 coming down on the front straightaway here. He actually is going to lose a spot to the 46. That's Crampton. Here we go. At the line, we have completed lap 72, and we are on lap 73. 8 laps to go in the stage. As they go through 1 and 2 here, top 5 as they run. Hawkin, Crampton, Williams, Gum, and Seth Cole. They are the top 5 coming down to the back straightaway.
Yep. Looks like Hawkins still holding his ground here. Crampton again. We got to give him a bit of a shout out here. I've always mentioned this so many times, this 46 car just doing a spectacular job. We usually don't see him up front often, but he's giving us a statement. He's really avoided a lot of the wrecks. Got in one wreck early on, but no damage really to that 46 car. That's really hindered the engine power behind the Chevrolet. But a great run for Crampton here. Hawkins still sitting in that race lead there. He's been kind of the man to beat, really. He's been the one to really initiate the moves here. Nobody else has really done the same as Hawkins did, but we'll see if Crampton does something here besides the backs off.
As we go through 1 and 2 here, they'll come back to the back straightaway here in a moment. We do have another retiree out of the race. That is the 57 of Matthew Rodriguez. I'm going to try and get him in here in a little bit. He has.
I think also Tyler Mallon wants to interview too.
Okay, Tyler. I think we'll. I forgot about Gardner. I forgot about him. So
got a lot of people wanting to get him.
As we're coming down to the end of the stage here, we'll try to get 2 of them in here. Let's get Gardner in first since he was the prioritized one.
Yeah. In all honesty,
Was moved to your channel.
hello,
Johnny
Gardner.
Here, the NNSCRA broadcast booth. I just got back from having to pick somebody up. Noticed that you were out of the race there. What happened on your point of view? What happened?
Well, let's just say all hell broke loose and I was trying to miss harder, and then I just ended up hitting the brakes just lightly to try to miss the wreck, and then all of a sudden I took a slow carnival ride.
Tough break for you, as we just saw on our screen. Carson Gum just hit the wall off the turn number 2. Anyone you want to thank out there for your run today? It looked like a pretty decent, solid run at one point.
At one point, yeah, it was solid. I want to thank the boss, Rob, for a good car, good motor, good chassis. Wish he was out here running with me tonight, but unfortunate circumstances took part for him. EGM pride, that's all I can say.
All right, Johnny, thank you very much for joining us here in the booth. Hope to see you around in more races coming forward here on the NNSCRA. What channel were you in? Freeze Ray?
Freeze Ray.
All right, thank you very much, Johnny. We'll see you later on.
Will do.
User was moved out.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get Tyler Mallon in here as well. We're going to get him in here real quick.
User was moved
Tyler
to your
Mallon,
channel.
Chris Dollarden in the broadcast booth here. Man, you were having such a good run early on. You dominated the early portion of that first stage, and then apparently for my constituents here, all hell broke loose. What's your vantage point on what happened?
Well, it's a shame. We had such a good car. Led like 23 of the 25 laps at the beginning of the race, and then we got taken out. There are like 3 cars left that don't have damage because everyone decided to be ridiculously aggressive at the beginning in their pushing. But my teammates knew going into the race I was single file, so there were going to be checkups, and it just we lost position because the outside line was so powerful, and then got killed in a checkup at the beginning. So
it's unfortunate. Yeah, definitely a good bad shame. I was pulling for you out there. You're having a really good run early on. Anybody you want to thank?
I want to thank my teammates for working with me so much during the beginning of the race, and then Interstate Batteries, I guess, because they were on the car.
Alrighty, Tyler, you had a great run tonight. Hope to see you in future events. I'll get you back down to your room. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the race.
Thank you.
User was moved out.
We'll take more interviews at the caution period as we are closing in on the end of this second stage, as Brandon Hopkin is the leader, Crampton in second, and then third, Corey Williams with Gum and Cole in fourth and fifth. Over to DJ.
Yeah, pretty much it's not changed ever since then. Crampton has been behind the back bumper of Brandon Hopkin. Within these final laps of the stage here, we have 3 in stage 2 of the event here. We still have a long race to go, folks. Corey Williams still sitting in that 3rd spot, while the Toyotas of Carson Gum and Seth Cole, as you mentioned, running 4th and 5th.
I've been following the ticker as the leaders take 2 laps to go in the stage. I've been looking at the intervals of those guys. Those guys, the 4, the 14, 24, and 6, they are going to be safe going forward. James Shelley, if everything stands, they will get the free pass and we'll get back on the lead lap despite being off the pace. That would give us 10 cars on the lead lap at the time of the caution, as the leaders will get around the 85. The 85 of Friesen way down to the inside to make sure he's out of the way of them. I think it was good strategy on the guys 6 through 9. I don't think, yeah, you were right that Buchanan and Parker are not off the pace. I'm going to look at Rogers here real quick as the leaders are coming around to the white flag. Rogers is keeping a pretty decent pace with these guys, so even with the damage, he's able to keep up with these guys as the leaders have taken the white.
White flag in the air for stage 2 here. Brandon Hopkin leading the field down here, or really the small field down here. Crampton in that 2nd spot. It's a matter of whether he'll make a move or just stay behind the 8 car here. Brandon Hopkin just having a pretty clean race, to say the least here, as here they come rounding turn number 2 here for the final time for stage 2, that is. Crampton still on the bumper there. Corey Williams a bit ways back. You notice the distance away from the Chevy and the Toyota there. But pretty much those 2 cars are just running away.
Here they come through 3 and 4 for the last time here from the green and white checkered of stage number 2. Does Crampton make a move to the inside of the 98? He doesn't have any help to the inside. Peeks for a second. Decides, you know what? I'm going to stay behind you, 98. You can take this stage win. Brandon Harkin, winner of stage 2 in the 500. Second, Crampton. Third, Williams. Fourth, will be Carson Gum in 5th, Seth Cole. We're going to back up here to the rest of the lead lap cars and see how they finish this stage. It looks like it's going to be Buchanan in 6th, Rogers 7th, Fay in 8th, Parker 9th, unless they decide to make any moves here at the end of this one.
Nope,
Doesn't
looks
look
like
like
they
it.
won't.
Looks like they won't. They'll stay content to line up. And that is the lead lap cars as they take stage number 2. Brandon Hawkin, winner of stage number 2. These guys are still running full speed. Hold on.
Maybe they missed the call. I'm not sure.
I hope they didn't. I don't know if they missed the call or not. You know, maybe it's at the completion of 81. I don't know. Either way, I think it's all going to stay the same.
Might have been our fault, but we're not sure here because I don't think they announced it. Do you see anything there?
I don't see that. There are the lights. The lights are on now.
There they are.
It was at the completion of lap 81. Wait, hang on. No, the lights are still green. Hold on. Yeah, let me see if I can get Seth here. What's going on? And there we go. Caution flag is out. So it looks like I think an issue on
Unnecessary officials might have been caught sleeping there.
Officials may have been costly there. Either way, I think the order does remain the same as we called it.
Looks like so. Yeah. We haven't seen anything change really.
No, really changes. These guys, the 6th through 9th, they have stayed the same. And now, Brandon Hawkin is officially your stage winner here in the 500 at completing lap 82 of 154.
Apologies for the confusion there. We thought it would end at the end of lap 80, but
turns out
it might be our fault. We're not sure. We're not going to put the blame game on anybody here. Probably, I'd say, a miscommunication with the officials and our tower here. So, not sure what happened, but even so, the end of stage 2, as Darlington mentioned, with Brandon Hawkin as the winner of stage 2 here. And now, stage 3 has now come to fruition for all of us. So we can see a race to decide who will win the NNSCRA Daytona 500.
So while we have that going on, we're going to get some more interviews in here. A few more guys have left the race. We're going to try and get Matt Rodriguez in here.
User was moved to your channel.
Hi, Matthew. This is Chris Dollard in the NNSCRA broadcast booth. Noticed that you retired from the race. I noticed you guys are having a rough going there. You and Poteet, as you both have put your cars behind the wall. What are your thoughts about how running today?
Here, if you can get Poteet in here, I think we'd love to tell him.
Okay, I'll get Poteet in here.
Certainly.
User was moved to your channel.
Well, sorry, cut you off there, Poteet. I noticed you were talking with them, but we're getting you here. This is Chris Dollard in the broadcast booth. Brought Matthew in here to get your vantage point of what happened out there for you in the race. What happened?
Well, I was just riding the outside line, and I think the 05 took the 08, and unfortunately I was on the outside, and the rest of history. I got hit by about every car after that.
I hope you noticed the reason I
my
asked
car was
him,
potato.
The reason I asked him, he was actually up in the front of the field. He saw it.
Gotcha.
And then we decided to play bumper cards.
Yeah, I noticed that actually in the race.
Yeah,
we
were
going at it.
We were tandeming at 140 miles an hour. It's pretty intense.
I think you guys were like 120, I feel, but yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty scary when people come flying up on you.
It's pretty scary when
I
you go
wouldn't want to be in that either.
It's especially when they don't tell you they're coming up on you, and they don't even give you the lane.
Yeah, before we pulled off the track, there was like a whole pack that almost took us out.
And it wasn't just one lap; it was like
and I
3
think we
laps
scared
in a row.
them.
But yeah, just wrong place, wrong time, basically. I avoided a couple big wrecks, and I guess my luck ran out. So,
hey, I had fun.
It is. It was fun.
Hey.
Yeah, and also Red Racer wants to tell you guys, great race.
Oh.
Thank you.
I mean, I'd be a little bit happier if I was still running, but
yeah,
same.
It's unfortunate, but it comes with these these kinds of races in here in the NNSCRA. Anybody y'all want to thank, Dylan?
I think Matt just for being here.
Oh, thanks, Potita.
And Seth for paying me the GoDaddy carb, and yeah, thanks.
I wanna thank Seth
God bless
Cole.
America.
I want to thank Seth Cole for not telling me the team plan, even though I was on his same team. I also want to thank Seth Cole for his guidance, which was go low, which didn't work.
That was just the plan. Just go low.
He yelled "go low," and I went low, and you saw it happen.
You're not gonna thank me for anything.
What? Oh, here's what happened with Seth Cole. If his advice doesn't work, you blame Shelly.
Yes, that's
always
always the answer. That is always the answer.
Only
Anyway,
Shelly has that in the car.
yeah, leaders are on the back straightaway. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of this race. Got a wild stage 3 coming up here. Yeah.
Yeah, as the 85 takes the wave around.
User was moved out of your channel.
And also,
User left your channel.
the 81 is out. And if we still have code Luigi here, you might want to move him up to see what his point of view was on him getting destroyed.
We'll get Jimmy in here in just a little bit. We'll get a look around here. We'll give you the top 9, as that's all that we have left. Crampton will be the leader, coming to the green flag here. Zach Buchanan second, Zach Rogers third, the Zach and Zach team right there. Brandon Hawkins fourth, Corey Williams fifth, Sean Fay is sixth, Bill Parker seventh, Seth Colt eighth, and then trying to find who am I missing here. I have 9 cars on the lead lap.
Carson Gunn back there.
Oh yeah, there's Carson back there in 9th. So Carter's trying to catch the field here. We got about 13 cars left in this race today. Here we go, the official start of stage 3, and how convenient. With 70 laps to go, I now realize why Michael threw the caution when he did, as we now will have a 70 lap stage, and now I realize what he did. Now,
Yep, already there, a good start from Crampton there, but look at Zach Buchanan going to the bottom there, getting help from Honkin, but Honkin, he's going to go through the middle of the racetrack there. He's going to make it 3 wide and split the middle between the both of them.
Very risky move by Hawkin, but it's going to pay off as Crampton is, well, no pun intended, cramped up on the outside line as Corey slams the door on him. As the top 6 are able to get away, Rogers trying to hang in here at the top 9. Have formed a bit of a group up here at the front, hoping to try and keep it this way, going the rest of the way. More pit stops to come, and we're now going to be unable to get Jimmy Powell in as he has dropped from the race, or from our team speak.
Yeah, and same with code Luigi, because like apparently I didn't realize that they don't use a mic. So yeah, unfortunately no interview for them. And I also did unfortunately notice that Jimmy Powell retired a little bit late.
98 has taken the lead. Oh, we have another retiree? No, we're good. DJ.
Yeah.
Yep, now you see Corey Williams wanted to go to the bottom. Look at Zach Buchanan. He's going to give him a nice shot there. I think he thought so otherwise. And now Crampton now up to the 2nd spot here. Hawkins still in possession. Look at Phil Parker. We mentioned him, the pole sitter, making his way forwards here ever since he's back on the lead lap. He's actually stayed with this pack, as well as Buchanan. We mentioned these two, saying that they weren't really off the pace. It's just a matter they just caught a bad break.
Yes, definitely is. Now they're back here on the front straightaway, completing lap 86 of 154. Top 9 as the Sean Fay and Carson Gum have kind of lost the draft here. I think Carson's trying to get around Sean Fay so he can catch the draft again, since Carson's a bit more up to speed than Sean is. James Shelley, also the lucky dog there. He's 7 seconds off the pace, so he's definitely not going to be a factor at the end of this one. Carson continuing to try and help him out as we head down the back straightaway going into 3.
Yep, Corey Williams now getting help from Zach Buchanan down the bottom of the racetrack. Phil Parker looking to one to stays up high, really undeciding of where he wants to go there. Corey Williams using the middle groove there, not the way to the bottom, but now he's in the middle there, side by side. Here they come down through the triangle here, and it's going to be Brandon Hawkins that's going to lead the lap there, but Corey Williams is right on the quarter panel.
Watching Corey trying to side draft there through the front straightaway. Carson finally got around Sean Fay, but at what cost? 2.6 seconds back of the leaders now with the slow car trying to help him out. That's definitely not good as Williams trying to get in there on the outside line, which he finally does.
Yeah, he looked like he wanted to really cut off Phil Parker there. He's able to this time around. But Crampton's still in the 2nd spot. He's been the runner-up guy all race long. It's a matter of whether we see this 46 car in the lead more often. But Hawkins is just a better car, I think, to lead this pack. Williams now going to the bottom there underneath Crampton for position.
Coming off of turn number 4, once again, a 7-car pack as there's a tiny bit of gap between Phil Parker and now battle for 5th between Rogers and Buchanan, the Zach and Zach show. As they come down here through the short chute. Seth Cole leading the tail end of this group as Carson, again, the case with like what happened with Buchanan and them, a bad case on the restart, hoping to maybe get a caution here before race end.
And those cars battling it out here really for the top 5 spot isn't really helping their cases whatsoever, because look at the top 4. They're breaking away from those 3 cars, and maybe they are off the pace. We're not sure. Seth Cole giving Rogers quite a shove there. But look at Crampton now. He's going to try and look for the race lead.
Don't know if that's a wise idea by Crampton, as there is no friend down there to help him out. Those 3 back there have sorted things out, and they're going to hopefully catch back up to these guys. And they're going to, as Parker dives to the inside of Crampton. That move in turn 3 and 4 by Crampton backfires severely, as now he could fall back as far as 4th, but Parker stays in line. He'll hold 3rd place. Buchanan makes the move to the inside of Phil Parker for 4th place, as they come back to you, DJ, in turn number 2.
Yep, you see there, Buchanan made a great move to the inside, took advantage of Parker really losing that run off the corner there, and Buchanan was able to pounce on that like a tiger. And then you see Seth Cole backing up behind Zach Rogers, but now the battle for the lead rages on. Corey Williams back to the inside with Crampton with help. I think really it's a matter of who follows you, because now Corey Williams is in the points.
And yeah, interesting how Crampton helped out Williams when Williams didn't help him out, as these guys have been able to stay together, completing lap 90 of 154. 64 laps to go in the NNSCRA Daytona 500.
You almost said the Winter Classic, didn't you?
What was that?
I said you almost said the Winter Classic, didn't you?
Yeah, I almost said it, but it's...
Well, to be fair, that's currently what the stream says, so I don't blame you. Because, like, the thing is just, like, still slightly wrong.
Yeah, I think you saw that too. I think we both saw that in all there. Aggressive block on Seth Cole there, but it's still Corey Williams there, hawking up to the 2nd spot. I think Crampton dropped back there, got past, but look at Zach Buchanan. He's still running. He's not giving up without a fight whatsoever here. Zach Buchanan doesn't look as fast as those drivers up there, but he's still proving a statement here today.
The case I was looking to see, would Rogers survive in the pack if he had help? He's now at the back end of this group. He has lost all help that he can get. He is going to start falling back as we head down through into the back straightaway. Carter Friesen back on the track, had a black flag a moment ago. He's back, though.
Yep, Corey Williams still getting a nice shot here from Brandon Hawkin. Zach Buchanan maybe backing off a bit to see if he can get a bit of a slingshot maneuver. Look at Seth Cole going to the bottom there. He's going to try and find a way to get around Phil Parker there. He's one of the few cars that have yet to have damage in this race here, and hopefully keep that car in one piece. But it looks like it really just dries up out of turn 4 there, and Seth Cole has to really wait again, and he might actually lose the draft because of it.
Another case of just horrible choices. If you're at the back of a group, you know not to go, but unlike that, Buchanan makes a bold move to the inside. Williams with the block of the century on Buchanan, getting aggressive with close to 60 laps to go, and because of that, Hawkin has no friends on the high side.
Yep, really aggressive block from Corey Williams there, as you mentioned there. But Buchanan getting help from Crampton. Crampton seems to be the wild card in terms of pushing someone. He might be the person to push someone to a victory, because Crampton has done a great job in helping the others. You see Seth Cole going to the bottom.
Seth back on the bottom again. He's hoping Parker would come down with him, but he does not choose to. As we still come down here to take it, 61 laps to go in the 500. Coming up at the after this race, here's a little shameless plug of mine. the MSCWC over on the MSC Network pay-per-view, wrestling pay-per-view, Clash of Champions. That's coming up here. You'll be able to hear my commentary here down in this TeamSpeak later on. That's coming up at the conclusion of the NNSCRA Daytona 500 here on the NNSCRA Network. Here.
See there, Hawkin now making a move there. He's trying to get around Crampton here. Crampton might be the weak link despite being the best pusher, or either that or Crampton really losing positions there. Hawkins still on the bottom there, but he's got no help. But the matter is, maybe the damage might be differential here, but even so, not much done there for Hawkins. Caution's down the track.
Sorry, I was checking the live stream for a minute. Yes, caution is out on the racetrack. I'm trying to figure out who it may have been for.
It's Zach Rogers that wrecked. Based on what I've seen, it's the 6th car.
Let's back it up here. Let's see what happened. I'm backing it up here. I think, did he get help coming around? Oh,
I think it's a bumper grab situation.
Yeah, bumper grab.
It's going to be a bumper grab situation. Yep, he got into the back of the 85 and just went around. And then I don't know if he hit anything. Yeah, oh man, he took a good chunk out of the front end there.
I think Rogers was getting bored and it didn't really work out for him when he hit that wall there. Really bumper grabbed Friesen.
Yeah, he almost went and crashed a bunch of more people, so.
Nearly came back up in the Carson Gum. Not sure if he saw him or not, but close situation there. So Zach Rogers is the reason why we are under caution for the 10th time.
Yeah, I think it's around 10 times in all honesty.
Let's just go with 10. Let's just settle on 10. It's a nice round even number.
I'll have to see by the time of the exports here. Let's see the statistics of yellow flags here today, but
yeah, definitely. So, and because of that, James Shelley did not fall off the lead lap there, so he will maintain it. And because of that, Carter Friesen will get one of his 2 laps back.
looks like maybe a little freebie for Carter Friesen here in the 85. He was technically a part of it, but he didn't spin out, so he should be safe to say the least, doing a little bit of burnouts on the apron there. You see him trying to maybe warm up the tires a bit. So pits are going to be open this time around. Corey Williams has been one of the few drivers that has dominated this race after the, I would say, aftermath of a lot of big crashes. So him and Hawken have been the ones to look out for in this race. I've really kind of emphasized on drivers to look out for here, but Corey Williams has been leading these laps lately.
And they're coming down to you, Henry, into the pits, all of them.
Yeah, I think that everybody outside of Lyndon Wright is coming down. No, Zach Rogers is also staying out. Outside of that, everybody remaining at least is coming down. But I think that that's only like 10 cars. Nope, I stand corrected. 11 cars.
Williams going to put all 4 tires on. He's looking to, in the long run terms here. He is away from his pit box. Careful not to drive through too many stops, as if we care.
Look at Roger Ray there.
Winner off the
not Ray, but Sean Fay.
Winner off of pit road.
No, actually, the winner off of pit road is Phil Parker.
Sean Fay with a good stop as well. So, that may be a different strategy call from 2014.
And going back on the call on the 14, fuel only on the 14 of Phil Parker.
Ooh, might be quite a call there. Tire wear isn't too bad at Daytona, so this could be an excellent call here. When you do have 4 tires, you really have nothing to lose here, but based on the cars on the lead lap and those without damage, it's pretty lackluster to say the least. Not that many cars remaining in this race here, so you really have nothing to lose with 4 tires and 2 cans of gas here. So we're going to have to see how green flag pit stops come into play if we do have green flag pit stops.
With it being inside 60 to go, we are guaranteed at least 2. So we'll see what happens. Maybe 1. I think Rogers stayed out and did not pit under that. So he might be our leader coming around here, as he did not fall off the lead lap due to wrecking. So he might be our leader here. I'm going to go with that, and we'll see how it goes. Parker is second. That's the lap car of Lyndon right there. 2 laps down. Third will be Sean Fay. Fourth, Zach Buchanan. Fifth, Corey Williams. Sixth, Brandon Hawkins. Seventh, TJ Crampton. 8th, Seth Cole. 9th, Carson Young. 10th, James Shelley. That was the cars that are on the lead lap. Forward, so Parker, very bold call coming out of the pits. And when they take the green, it'll be, I think, oh, I did my math wrong. It'll be 57 laps. No, I did my math right. 58 laps to go.
Yeah, around that.
58 to go when they cross the line. Indeed, $10. Rogers, though, was the driver that caused the caution, so I'm not sure what the tires are in terms of its current state. Unless he came in the pit lane, but even so, Rogers, I don't think he
didn't see him come down.
No, actually, I think he was one of the people that stayed out. I think it was just simply him and Lyndon that stayed out, in all honesty.
So this might be a little bit of a rocky start here, given the fact that 66, he spun the tires on the start, and that backed up Phil Parker, as Rogers can confirm he will be the leader, as, oh my goodness, these guys, oh, contact! Lyndon trying to get out of the way of these guys, knowing that he is much, much slower. Buchanan's going to take advantage of this. He's going to be the benefactor here. Parker slapping it in 3 wide under the lap cars.
Oh, they're getting stacked up. There they go, crashing up a turn 2. Can they save it? No, they
Nope.
can't. Rogers spins the
Sean
car
Fay
down
gets into
and Sean Fay
to Zach
They're all
Rogers.
stacked up.
66 went way to the inside.
Oh yes, I saw him trying to go through the grass.
That'll put us under the caution for the
Up
11th time
46
today.
car blew 4th gear.
Yeah.
Brandon blew 4th gear.
Uh-oh.
And Lyndon Wright's around in turn 3 and 4. So more calamity, more drivers dropping out. They're dropping like flies here at Daytona. But Zach Buchanan is the one to lead us across the start-finish line here to end this caution here, or really to begin the caution flag.
Buchanan did lead us back, and that was a tough break for TJ Crampton. Blowing 4th gear, that pretty much does you in here at Daytona. And that he was having such a good run. He's trying to fire gear 4.
I think it's just not there anymore. He's lost it. There's no turning back, man. It's going to be a gearbox issue.
It's going to be a gearbox issue. That is it, more than likely, for TJ Crampton. We were talking so good about him. Such a good run up to this point, and his night is going, or his day for that matter. Well, technically night for us. It's coming to an end here today in Daytona.
Yeah.
So that'll give it, unless he just tries to muscle something out. Which I wouldn't blame him. I admire drivers like that. So 10 cars on the lead lap. Rogers was able to save it for the most part. Much more damage to the left side of his machine and more hood damage. He's going to try and salvage what he can out of this. Yeah, Lyndon Wright did spin in turn 3, but he is off the pace. So a little bit of a risk there with Rogers starting and not getting. I mean, a risk worth taking at this point in the race, but I don't know if that was such a wise idea.
I don't know. I mean, Corey Williams also went for a hole there and didn't quite open up as well as he expected. So I think it also just was kind of been a risky move for Corey Williams there, because Rogers held his line. I think if you could tell in the replay, I think Williams just kind of went for a hole there. Fay kind of went up the racetrack. I don't think Fay expected the 51 to go a bit downwards there, and that's kind of what led to them tangling up off the turn 2 and down the backstretch.
So we're under caution for what is now the 11th time today. Put an asterisk next to that. We'll check at the end of this one.
Red Racer, I am pretty sure you are correct in that it's the Daytona Last Man Standing 500 opposed to the Daytona 500 at this point, at least.
And it looks like
a lot of
Parker
takers.
thought about it, but third on back is in, Henry.
Yep. So the only ones staying out that I'm seeing are Sean Fay, Phil Parker, and Zach Buchanan. Everyone else is coming down with Corey Williams basically leading the pack.
Cranton's going to try and continue here. It looks like he's going to put on 4 fresh Goodyears. It looks like, again, a tough break for him. Definitely not what we wanted to see. Definitely not what we want to see. Definitely one of the underdogs out there. And blowing 4th gear, like I said, it does you in here at this track.
Oh, yes, very much so. As Carson Gum leads the race off pit road.
And again, a car that was involved in the caution does not pit. Sean Fay will stay out and hold 3rd place.
Well, to be fair, what I saw from him, essentially, he just spun. He wasn't really involved too much from what I saw when I looked back at it. But in all honesty, I definitely know that I could also be very much wrong with this. You never really know, in all honesty.
So everyone has returned to the track, it seems.
And 1 lap to go this time around. We'll be restarting the race with 55 laps to go here. We're getting close here, getting closer and closer, but we still have drivers that have to pit here for gas. I think everybody still has to pit no matter what because of the CTS fall off here in the fuel. So we're still going to expect some drivers to come in pit lane. Well, emphasis on fuel here, really. Everybody's going to come in at some point in this race.
With it being 55 to go, 25 to 28 laps is the pit
close
window.
one. Close to maybe getting 1 if you save it.
Close to 1 if you save it, 2 if you cannot save. Running order as they'll come back. Running order as they'll come and take the green flag here and will complete lap 99. Buchanan is the leader. Parker is 2nd. Sean Fay 3rd. Carson Gum 4th. With the lap car of Rodriguez in the middle. Brandon Hawkins 5th. Corey Williams 6th. James Shelley will restart 7th. Crampton with no fourth gear is in 8th. Did I say that right?
To be correct, yeah.
Yeah. Seth Cole in 9th. Zach Rogers rounds them out in the top in 10th. Lap cars are Eric Rodriguez, Carter Friesen, and Lyndon Wright. As the pace car makes the hard left-hand turn again, Brett Bodine's been doing that all day long, it seems, as they'll put lap 100 on the board here in the Daytona 500. And a bad start for Sean, good start for Parker and Buchanan.
Yeah, it was a really good start there. The Ford, you saw him get up to the gears really quickly. The acceleration from that Ford Mustang there. Phil Parker was wanting to attack there, but there's the rule, but you can't really change lanes there. They're 3 wide. In the back there, looks like they backed it down 2 wide there. But right now, it's Zach Buchanan and Phil Parker running away here with Sean Fay and company, rounding out the top 5. They're all trying to scramble for position.
I'm following Travis Crampton here, TJ Crampton here. He's got it up into, he thinks he's refired 4th gear. He's running 179, 180 in 4th gear. I don't know if that's going to keep him up the pace. It probably won't. His chances of a win have pretty much gone away at this point. That's the best he can run, while the leaders are running pushing 190.
Well, we'll have to wait and see here. It doesn't really, I think he might have overreacted, maybe thought he lost 4th gear, but he's still kind of running, well, kind of around the pace of those that have engine damage in 3rd, really, and they're stuck in 4th gear as well. So I think he's just kind of up to par here. You see the differential for the 46 there.
Tough break for him, as we have said. The front 8 have been able to get away. Shelley, he would just need a lot of drafting help if he wants to stay with this pack. Same with Sean Fay. He has fallen off a bit as well. Right now, it's the front 4. The 98 here as the Parker makes a move. I think Lucas wanted to go a line lower. Wasn't the case. And Parker's going to try and get around the 98 here with help from the 51. I don't know if he'll be able to hold it, as Fay and Shelley fall further back.
The Hawk is still leading, though, as you mentioned there. But Seth Cole has made his way inside the top 5 there. He's in 2nd now. So Seth Cole in the catbird seat. Let's see if he can try and get himself a lap led here in the Daytona 500. Quiet race for Seth Cole here. Like I said, has run the conservative game here, and it looks like things are going in the right direction.
Until Parker spun Buchanan.
Can he keep it off the wall there? Sliding up the track, and that's going to bring out the yellow.
We haven't gotten the yellow yet. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. That's a huge hit there. Crampton just slammed into Buchanan. That might have just ended the 4 cars race just like that.
No,
I think that would more have ended the 46's race, in all honesty.
Yeah, the 46 slammed. I think you saw it, but the 46 slammed into the Zach Buchanan there. A huge plow on the backstretch there, and Buchanan's race is pretty much done.
In a case where Buchanan probably could have salvaged something, as all he did was spin.
He didn't do anything wrong. He just got hit.
Yeah, I think that's actually the end of the day for both of them.
I'm getting word over the radios that the 46 could not see the 4 through the smoke.
Well, that's interesting, though. I didn't really see.
I'm going to back it up here. I'm going to see the 46's speeds coming through that smoke.
It was around like 140. I'll say it was around like 172. So
he's running full speed. Still not slowing down, and wow, yep. Buchanan's up against the wall. 66 got collected in that as well. 2 got a piece of it. Yeah, that's just poor judgment on the 46.
Yeah, that was much more poor judgment.
It didn't look like there was a lot of smoke. I'm gonna ride on. I'm gonna back it up again. I
don't want to really go against the kid, but
no, actually, I fully understand him with that, because like from a one-time view in cockpit, I just barely saw what the heck was going on there. So like I didn't even really see Buchanan until right before he made a contact, so I can believe that. But I do understand that there would be poor judgment called in not braking for the smoke.
It's really a judgment call at this point, but I'd say poor judgment on the 46, because I rode on board with him. I could see the 4 up against the wall. He did try to make a move to avoid him. It's just too little too late at this point, and that's a tough break for the 4 particularly, because he more than likely would have continued after that spin and probably could have still fought for the win. But with that case, that is it for both the 4 and they might just park the 46 for plowing.
I mean, he's got already enough damage as is. So I think his motor got blown up to shreds here. Buchanan.
Oh, and Buchanan has
not
something to say
happy
to him.
there.
He's gonna stay in his stall. Definitely some angry words probably being shared, or angry gestures, if you will, by the 4 of Zach Buchanan, as Buchanan's race has come to an end.
Yeah.
Out of the race he goes, but all in all, though, it's a non-points event. I mean, in my perspective as a driver that has raced in similar events like this, or events like this where there's no points, I usually have a different mindset, where I usually just like to have fun. But I know it's a lot different for people, because there's different definitions of what fun is as drivers.
Yeah, as Carson Gunn once again wins the race off pit road.
Roger stays out again.
Yeah.
Another strategy call there.
Another interesting strategy call. When we take the green, we'll be at exactly 50 laps to go. So that's right in our pit window of 25 to 28. So at the minimum of our pit window. So this is going to be very interesting how things go forward from here. And after that wreck, that takes out 2 lead lap cars. That'll put us 8 on the lead lap. And let's see if I can track the running order here, as I think some cars are still trying to catch up to the field here. Oh, they better slow down.
Phil Parker, Shelley, looks like Friesen, Wright,
and Wright lap car. Seth Cole has made it back. Car in the pits. Buchanan, I think Buchanan's, he's still in pit road.
There's a lot of repair.
They're trying to maybe make a lot of repair on the Ford to see if they can salvage what they can. It looks like they've gotten a lot of the body damage repaired, but internal damage.
Done, honestly.
There was smoke billowing out of that car, so he, in every right, should be out of the race. We're going to keep it on the 4 here, on my perspective. See if maybe just a possible chance that he can salvage something. Either way, he'll be a lap down regardless.
Though we saw Tristan Allen get swept up in the air, and that car was basically a wheel modified at the end of things. But
Buchanan is going.
Look at him go.
I don't know how up to speed he will be. I doubt very well, but...
Yeah, and the O2 is coming down, it seems like.
O2 is going to bring it in. He is off the lead lap, so it does not matter. A lot of some words being shared over the radios between the 46 and the 4. We'll have to get our input there in a minute, as Zach Rogers will lead the pack to the green flag here. And Carson did not get a good start. Now it is up to Rogers' benefactor there as they go up through the gears, completing lap 104. 50 laps to go in the NNSCRA Daytona 500.
Yep, watch the 77 car flying into the picture. That's Seth Cole. He's trying to get caught up in the field, but remember, he doesn't have engine damage compared to some of the drivers in front of him. So he has a bit of an advantage here. So watch the 77 car make their way down as they round turn number 2 here. It is Brandon Hawken with the advantage.
Cole pushing everyone up. Faye looks like to be back up to par again. As soon as I say that, Cole goes to his inside. Rogers, it looks like the damage is just too much on the 6. As we keep on trucking here in the 500 as they come off of turn number 4. Williams battling again. Trying to find Buchanan. It's been reported he has lost 4th gear, running 148. He's currently through 1 and 2 right now. Hawken continuing to lead here. Corey Williams running in 2nd as these guys are trying to keep up. It looks like it's going to be a 6-horse race to finish this one, unless Shelley can find a miracle. As here they come off of turn number 2. Coming into you, DJ.
Yep, it's still Brandon Hawken leading this race, and him and Corey Williams have been the class of the field within this latter stages of the event here. And Corey Williams is right behind him here. He might make a move to the inside. Yes, he will. A dive underneath the 9 car 51. Certainly trying to find more laps here. He's looking for blood here in this 500.
Williams just squeezing in front, but the crossover move by Hawken, that was very close. You could fit a slip of paper between them. 3 wide behind them as they come to the line, but Parker backs out wisely. As they continue to go through 1 and 2, the radio transmission still going on. Fun fact, Carter Friesen's back on the lead lap. Did not see that. He must have gotten enough lucky dogs to get back on the lead lap. But he's back, but of course, well off the pace. And there is Zach Buchanan as they come to you, DJ.
Yep, you see him going to the apron there. You see now Carson Gum going to the inside, but look at Phil Parker. He's going to look for that third spot on the outside of Carson Gum there, and he will do so there. Carson Gum dropping back here, maybe to the back of the first pack here, this main pack of cars of literally 6 of them. And that's going to put Carson Gum down to 6th. Well, look at Sean Fay, up to 5th now.
Williams makes a move here at the line, at the stripe now. 47 laps to go in the 500. Williams trying to get maybe another advantage here. It looks like him and Hawkins, like Seth Cole, are the only ones that are without any sort of damage of any kind. Maybe some slight cosmetic damage to everybody, but everyone has that at this point. As they come down the back straightaway, no help for Williams, so Hawkins should prevail.
Yep, Williams not able to get the run off the corner. Let's see if Phil Parker will make a move to the bottom. He actually is going to shove Corey Williams, but look at Seth Cole. He's going to try and take advantage. Backs off and thinks otherwise. But now Corey Williams and the others are going to try and get that slipstream. Run behind the 98 to see if they can get a slingshot maneuver or just really stay in line here. But it looks like Williams actually wanted to put a nose there, but decides to back off.
There's no reason right now for these guys to be running very hard. They are the final 6. These are the 6 cars that will settle this race, barring any more wrecks. Parker wanted to block Seth there, but there was just nowhere to go. Carson Gum going to try and get back around the 24. I remember what happened last time they tried to do that. Carson lost a lot of time because of that, and because of that, he could not rebound. This time he gets around the 24 a lot quicker.
Yeah, went down the apron a bit this time, but that was after he passed him, so there's not going to be really any rule against him for going underneath the yellow line, but meanwhile, again, Corey Williams now looking back on the bottom there. Decides actually going to get closer to that 98 there, trying to maybe loosen that car up there. But Corey Williams still right on the bumper of Brandon Hawkins here. These two are the ones to beat, but we can't count out Phil Parker just yet.
Look at that, the pole sitter still hanging around here. Usually, sometimes in these special races, you don't think about the pole sitter even being around anymore. So, unbelievable. We have had now 12 caution flags. Compared to the last time we did this of 33, that's pretty darn good.
That's already reduced it to less than half.
Well, definitely less than half. I don't think we've seen the last of it yet, though, as these guys coming around here. Let's take a break here as these guys are just continuing the battle. What have y'all thought of this race by far? DJ?
If I were to be completely honest, this race has been a bit chaotic for my liking. I definitely wanted a bigger field for the end of this one because I thought I'm going to still emphasize this because this race could have been much better. Maybe if we went for moderate damage, maybe. I know realistic was kind of the way to go. Oh, contact there. Oh, there they go. Phil. Oh, can he save it?
Lost it.
And there he goes, spinning the car around. No caution on the racetrack there. Right as we were in that break area there, so I don't think Phil's going to be one happy camper there with the contact of Seth Cole there. So no yellow on the track here, but it's now down to literally 3 cars. I'd say 2 at this rate.
Tough break for the pole sitter.
Yeah, and I think that, like DJ said, it definitely has been a very chaotic race. I've also been taking a look at chat from time to time, and so I do understand and where Khan was saying that there has been like way too many cautions on this thing. And I think it's been so many cautions that we just kind of lost track at some point during the race. But it's definitely been like a very fun race to have been a part of. It's been a very fun race to have actually watched. I have enjoyed a lot of moments in here. Unfortunately, we also do have like a lot less cars than what I was hoping to have had at this point in time, at least for the race. But in terms of Daytona, it's like, what can you really do? Wrecks will happen, and like it all comes down to how aggressive the drivers are, and how well do they manage basically everything that goes around a car, as well as their track position.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Andrew, for your input. It's been it hasn't been to my liking either, DJ. I wish we had a bigger field. I really wish we had a bigger field.
Pit lane here.
What's going on?
check the 4-car out in pit lane. He's doing burnouts there. I don't know how the fans are gonna. The fans might like it or down there, but for the pit crews, it's a smoke show.
Not sure what's going on down there. I don't know what the deal is with Buchanan. He's probably just trying to celebrate as he thought he's probably thinking that he could have won this thing, but
I think he just lost hope for this race.
Just unfortunate circumstance for him. We have a lead change at the front. Corey Williams has made the move.
It's still been a good battle here. Seth Cole, despite the contact with Phil Parker, is still within this main pack. So again, I think it might be just because he has simply no damage compared to those two race cars here. So that might be the indicator here for Seth Cole.
Well, if memory serves, I don't think that either the 88 or the 51 were involved in wrecks either. They might have gotten like slight damage, but I don't think that they really got too heavily injured throughout any of the wrecks, at least not that I really saw.
Seth backs off a little bit here. We have put lap 115 on the board. That means 40 laps to go in the 500. Any of those guys that are still off the pace on the lead lap, there's only 6 cars that could really be competitive at this point, along with these 3, like 6 overall. They would need a caution to get back into this one.
I mean, there's not that many cars left. Zach Buchanan has finally pulled the car off the track. He is out of this race, but only 8 cars are on the lead lap, and pretty much only 3 of them are in contention. This seems like a very old race, to say the least, with NASCAR back then. I believe there were only like very few cars that actually contend for the win when it came to the final few laps.
Yeah, I think I understand now what Buchanan was doing. I'm pretty sure that what he was doing was just like a pre-celebratory donuts for whoever is the winner, as he has also taken his car right behind the wall.
So a tough break again for Zach Buchanan. Definitely a car that could have won this whole thing. Just unfortunate circumstance. I'm waiting to get confirmation. We may get him in here. I'm going to talk with one of the admins if it was being good taste to do so, but we'll see if we can get him in here for a quick interview. I'd also like to get Crampton's point of view as well, just to see what happened there. So as these guys keep going, I will check in with them to see if that is an option.
Well, we'll see if they're actually still in their rooms respectively as well.
Yes, they are both. Buchanan is still here and Crampton is here. I'm going to go ahead and get Crampton first.
Yeah, and it especially would not be in good taste to bring them both in. I know that we would have like a huge argument just like come right on the stream. So.
Hi, TJ. Tough break for you out there. I mean, I wanted to get your vantage point. This is Chris Dollard in the NNSCRA broadcast booth. What happened out there with you and Buchanan?
Well, first of all, I want to say sorry to Buchanan. I didn't see anything. My spotter said there wasn't a wreck. No one said anything, and I just didn't see through the smoke and just plowed him. So sorry to those 4 guys, the 4 team of Buchanan and them. And our race was over anyway because we blew fourth gear late on in the race. It was a tough break from our team.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a tough break. Here at Daytona, you blow 4th gear, it usually does you in. You can't run 4th gear. I mean, you started trying to. It just wasn't happening because. Anybody you want to thank?
First of all, I want to thank this 46 team, NS Racing, Nathan Stapleton for putting this team together in the last second. Hopefully, we can do better in the later bets.
Yeah, though, I do have a question.
Go ahead, Henry.
While you were racing, I thought that at one point you were heading in 4th gear, and that you were going in 4th gear, shortly before the wreck. So, what happened? Did you blow 4th gear, after it, or did you just somehow be able to reactivate 4th gear?
Well, there was actually the restart before that. I blew 4th gear, and so I just had to stick with 3rd. But it didn't come back. I pitted once to try to see if it was fixable, but they couldn't do anything about it, so I was just stuck with 3rd, and the wreck came and nowhere to go.
All right, well, thanks, TJ. Thank you for your input there. Again, see your side of what happened out there. I know Zach wasn't very happy about it. Try not to let it get to you too much. It's an odds points event, so I mean, it just happens. Just have fun out there. You had a good run. We were pulling for you out there. You were running pretty well up there.
You were impressing a lot of us out here.
Yeah, you were impressing a lot of us out there. So good run for you. Thank you for your input.
Thank you.
Oh.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right, go ahead and go and call the race, DJ, while I get some input from Mike Norman, our off-track admin.
All right, 10-4 here. It's still a 3-train race here. It's been pretty much a train, to say the least. Corey Williams has been up front with Brandon Hawken and Seth Cole. That is your top 3 here. 4th is Carson Gum, literally on an island by himself, with Phil Parker, who spun in the triangle and through the front stretch, running in 5th. Sean Vey running inside the top 10 with a 6th place run. Quiet run ever since the big crash he was swept up in. He's running in 6th. James Shelley running in the 7th spot here. Looking back at Zach Rogers in 8th. Then you got Carter Freeze in 9th. And then the 66, I'm not sure, that is Lyndon Wright in 10th. But looking back, near the front of the field here of literally a measly 3 cars, it's still been Corey Williams leading the way here. And we still have yet to get green flag pit stops come into the fray here. It's a matter of execution for these drivers here. This could be the money stop for these drivers here. Not sure what they're going to do quite yet here. We might see a signal of when they're going to pit this time or when next time, but I'm not sure what the fuel window is, at least as of right now here. But looks like things are going in the right direction for the top 3 here right now. They're just content. You see Williams getting draft there.
Yeah, I was going to give you Kennedy in here, but he has left the server, so we're not going to be able to get him in for an interview. Definitely, he'll have some words to say over on our Facebook group about what happened out there with him. I'm certain he'll have something to say.
Oh, yes, obviously.
So like you said, 3 cars. That is what we have been relegated to as the 19, the 14, and the 24 have just not been able to get out there. As like you said, there's just 2 little cars out there for a caution to come out. So they would need a really big miracle if they want to get back into this one. Definitely Phil Parker might be hot under the collar still as well after what happened. So yeah, Corey Williams still leading this thing as they come off 4.
Yep, nothing out of the norm here for this top 3 here. I think they've all kind of kept their composure throughout most of this. They're playing their P's and Q's here, playing their cards right here at Daytona. All surviving the carnage we saw in stages 1 and 2, where more than half the field is currently out of this race here. But it's still Corey Williams leading the way here at Daytona.
Been an excellent race for Corey Williams. He's definitely led a lot of it, closing in on 30 laps to go. Coming up here in the NNSCRA, the All-Star Race, 2 weeks from tonight, if I'm not mistaken, March 7th, 2019, the NNSCRA All-Star Race. Other series that goes on in this league, the Icebreaker Online Series, they return next week. Where they're going to be. That is preceded by the Wednesday Night Club, I believe. That'd be at Auto Club, all right. That is preceded by the Wednesday Night Light Series, part of IBOS. Another series that I don't know if it's gotten green lit yet or it's off the ground, the Sirius XM Pro Series. Not sure what that's going on here. Lots of leagues still coming around in the NNSCRA, and all those coming up, especially the All-Star Race in 2 weeks are next. Special event here in the NNSCRA Online Series.
I know it's going to be a bit unrelated here. How do you think that race will go?
I mean, might as well talk about it. There's not much else to talk about right now. What's going on this racetrack? Corey Williams run of Brandon Hawken and Seth Cole. I think that race is going to be very interesting. Let me check here.
It might be a bit more chaotic than this race, though. Just
definitely. I think it hasn't been determined yet where they're going to be at for the All-Star Race. Yeah, again,
Charlotte, I believe. It's at Charlotte.
Are they going to stick with the norm? Okay, so they'll probably be at Charlotte. You know, Charlotte's a very tricky track. I've raced an offline series, and I've seen what it does to people. Never been able to get a win there. And in terms of online, that's a tire. That will tear your tires up. That is what I've seen from these drivers. What I've seen in person, it tears your tires up. Fuel, it's basically an opposite of Daytona. Fuel is not so much an issue compared to tire wear, but then fuel comes back at the end of the race and rears its ugly head. Example, 2007 Coca-Cola 600.
I mean, I would actually I would certainly agree with that, though, but I feel like, again, tires aren't really a big issue, because you see in real life races, not many drivers will go for like a 4-tire stop and a green flag pit stop. usually it's like a fuel-only stop. Fuel is usually the bigger issue than it is tires. Tires are still important because you find more grip on the racetrack there. But again, it's pretty much a fuel race throughout most of the Daytona races, really, or really any super speed race. It's all about fuel and making it to the end.
That's right. That is all there is to it. If you can't tell, we have gotten really, really bored up here in the broadcast booth with one lap 126 on the board, coming around to take lap 127. That'll give us 28 laps to go. We have yet to have seen when these leaders will come in and make a pit stop. The 59, the 51, the 98, they have stayed content to ride behind each other. In a few laps here, of the way their things are going, they're going to catch up to the lap car, the soon-to-be lap cars of Sean Fay and Phil Parker, and the 19 of Carson Gunn.
Yep, you're absolutely right here. Parker coming out of that spin on the tri-oval is now in jeopardy of losing a lap. So that's really going to separate the field and really reduce the competition for these three drivers in the pack. If they can lap all the way to Carson Gunn, it's literally just a three-car race. It's all to themselves.
Here they come right now. They are catching the 24 and the 14. Does the 24 and the 14 get out of the way, or do they fight the leaders?
I'm honestly gonna say that they're gonna probably fight them, in all honesty.
The issue, they have stayed content to the inside line. It's as if they've conceded at this point. They are way to the inside. Again, the 51 trying to catch a draft off the 24. The 51 better move back up. And because of that, that has allowed Seth to get to the inside. That is close. And they are going to be put a lap down. They did not put up much of a fight there. I think what Phil's going to try and do here, I think he wants to blend back in with these guys and hopefully maybe stay with them and be the first car one lap down should a caution come out.
Yeah, because they are coming up towards Carson Gunn, so he could actually get a position out of this too as well. So this could be a good opportunity for Phil Parker to be the beneficiary in getting another spot on the race here. And if a caution does come out and he's ahead of Carson Gunn, he could be the lucky dog, and he again could have a shot.
Seth, I think, got a chunk of the wall there at the end of that one. Carson, he looks to be a lot off speed compared to Phil. Phil is gonna get it.
Way faster.
Way faster is Phil Parker. And so that is the race for the lucky dog. Should we get a yellow? I don't think we will going forward, because we're out of stages, and, well, we're practically out of cars at this point.
And see, some cars have come down pit lane to get their fuel topped off here. Carter Friesen, James Shelley, they've come in. They're lap cars, though, but even so, the leaders have yet to pit yet. So we're going to have to see how green flag pit stops come into play here at Daytona. Fuel is of the essence here, and making it to the end is a big priority.
Looks like the 14 and the 19 have formed a bit of a tandem here, as they have not fallen off at all from where these leaders have been.
Same speed.
Compared to Sean Fay. They are running the same speed. That just shows they are up to speed. They just have not been able to do much with it. Whoa! Getting around the 66 there was interesting, though, as Williams trying to pick up the track. Trying to pull away. I don't know if that's a wise idea. As they come to you, DJ, coming in off of turn number 2.
It really doesn't seem like it's the best idea. You see Hawken just able to close in, but really Phil Parker, like you mentioned, blending in with that main pack of cars here. Single file racing here, you can't really do much with like a lackluster of cars. Cole wanting to maybe go to the bottom just a bit there. You see Hawken getting really close to the wall there, but Corey Williams with that lead still there. Phil Parker maybe hoping for a yellow here on the racetrack here to see if things go his way.
That move, Seth tries again to the inside with help from the 14, not the case. Reminder, that 14, he is hoping and praying and hoping he doesn't cause a caution, but it could benefit him if he doesn't wreck. And because of that, actually, Phil is going to be moved around the 77, as Phil's maybe trying to win his lap back the old-fashioned way.
When was the last time we've seen someone fight for their lap back and be successful?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, at least in regards to the NNSCRA. I've seen it in NASCAR. I've seen it happen before, but not under a green flag run.
It's usually possible.
Restart. The exit, turn number 4 here. Corey Williams and Hawken have a little bit of a gap here on Phil Parker and Seth Cole, as now it's looked like as if it'd be better for Seth and Carson to be the pusher of Phil Parker. As the speeds here coming in through the short chute, 189. They're running a slightly quicker than those leaders up there, as we have still not have seen them not pit as they come off of turn number 2 again and onto the back straightaway of this 5-car pack.
Yeah, but still Corey Williams leading the way here. Hawken getting a bit of a breakaway here from Phil Parker there in the 14 there. Parker, I don't know if he'll make a move to the bottom. Yes, he will. Parker going to try and get his lap back the hard way here. Williams putting the block here. Now let's see. Williams now going back to the top, maybe getting draft from Carter freezing there. But it's Williams still leading the way off of turn 4, but look at Hawken right on the bumper.
Parker still trying to get around them. He's hoping and praying to get around them. I've seen Parker run before, slides to the outside, trying to get around the 98, but he needs help from the 77 of Cole and the 19 of Gum. No help there as they come through 1 and 2. Williams still leading this way as we close in on 20 laps to go. It'll be 21 next time around.
Yep, we are getting near the climax of the event here. Corey Williams still leading the way here. Again, we've kind of reiterated this several times before. A single file train throughout most of it. Nobody's really made a move. They have a couple of times, but even so, it's been relatively calm just because of the, well, sheer lack of cars remaining in the race.
They come through the short chute again. Sorry, I was sending a text message there. Can you tell I'm bored? As Williams continues to lead this race, as Parker, he's just tried all he can to, I think he's been trying harder to get around these guys more than we've been trying here in the booth to figure out things to talk about.
Well, if we want things to talk about, do we want to go and have me just read an interview that we got sent through the YouTube chat?
Oh yeah, that would certainly.
So Code Luigi, who was the 84, for when I asked him about what was their point of view in the wreck, they had this to say. He thought he was going to be able to get through it, gone the race on the inside, and then the 54 just slammed right into him. So he was trying to lay back for most of this race, and that was working. But then that wreck happened, and the 85. So that's basically what happened to him. He also is now cheering for the 85 to win the race, or at least he was. As to be fair, he did go and help paint that 85 car. So fair enough on that.
And that's the input on the 84. I think that was Roger
yeah, that was the 84.
Roger Ray.
Roger Ray giving us his input of what happened out there. So we are inside, 20 laps to go. We are in basically the point of no return for some of these guys, as we've still have yet to have seen the leaders make a pit stop. Any of these guys really make a pit stop, as Shelley's going to go a third lap down now to the leaders. Parker still trying to hang around in this group. I think I know what Parker's thinking was. If he's hoping for a caution, he's with the leaders, so he wouldn't lose much, really. And with staying with the leaders, he wouldn't have fallen 2 laps down, or even worse than that, had he lost the pace. I thought he was going to lose the pace when he lost the ground a bit there, but when the leaders cut more lap traffic, it wasn't the case. Parker and Gump were able to ride back up here with the leaders. They complete lap 136, lap 137 on the board, 18 laps to go in the second annual NNSCRA Daytona 500. I gotta stop saying annual. We haven't done this for 3 years, so
yeah,
fair enough.
Back to you, DJ, off of turn number 2 with Williams at front.
Yeah, Williams again, as you mentioned, still up front here. Not much action here. We're not sure on how they are on gas here. I think they still have to pit one more time here. A matter of whether we have to pay attention to the chat in the race chat to see if things go well and if they signal that they're going to come in. Because I believe what they're going to do is all go for maybe a fuel-only stop. So Corey Williams rounding turn 4 there. Brandon Hawkins still running second. These two have been, again, the class of the field here ever since the field kind of fell apart, to say the least. But look at Parker down the inside for a moment.
Thought he was going to turn the 98 there, but it wasn't the case. He finally backs off again. I'm surprised he hasn't been able to stay up here with these guys. Yes, definitely. We're going to be paying attention to the chat here. It's lighting up for me. It's freezing.
Not much there, but still Williams, Carson Gum still kind of lurking inside the top 5 despite being a lap down. Seth Cole tucked in line in 3rd, but the 4th car in line here. Williams going a bit weirder on line there. And, well, Lux Hawkins just well. Again, these two have been the class of the field. Williams and Hawkins. What do you think of their performances here today so far?
I've been nothing but impressed by these two. The veteran and Williams, and I have not seen. I will be completely honest with you. This is my first time watching Brandon Hawkins race, and what a performance for the young gun, the 98 there, driving for let me flip here, driving for I think Team SB. This is to team. This is helping out. Yeah, these are teammates here at Team SB. Corey Williams and the 98. So. You got to throw that into the picture, too. And then Seth Cole, of course, for Backmarker Motorsports. Phil Parker, he's part of Team SB, too. So that's why he's up here with these guys. And then also Carson Gum, who is up there with Backmarker. So it's team versus team at this point, with one of their teammates being a lap down. Coming to the line, it'll be 15 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Or, for that matter, the Daytona 375.
Mo,
we have smoke
caution's
on
out.
straightaway, and the caution is out.
Shake things up. I think they're going to go on gas now because of that, and that is going to be a saving grace for Phil Parker in the 14 car. This is going to be a huge dividends for the Mobile One Ford Mustang.
If I'm Carson Gum, though, do I pit, or do I not pit and take the wave around and hope for another quick caution?
I don't think there's going to be a quick caution though, unless they wreck on the restart. I think it's less likely.
Yeah, that is a good point. So they'll hold up here for the pace car. Here's Rogers dives into the grass for no apparent reason. And like you said, this is huge for Phil Parker. That'll make a 3rd Team SB car up in here, up with the leaders. It's 3 Team SB cars versus Seth Cole at this point of Backmarker Motorsports as they're waiting for the pace car to come around at a measly 30 miles an hour.
I would say, though, that ended a long green flag run here, and maybe I think a lot of fans consider this a drought of a green flag run because I think many would describe this. What happened?
Flying in there and backed into the 24, which sent the 19 spinning. But these guys, they have to wait for the pace car to come around before they can make the pit stop. So they'll have to wait here. So potentially we could treat this as a red flag.
Looks like it. I don't know how the pace car's doing. There's Rodriguez coming in a bit hot.
And he'll back it down, no problem. And there's
that
Carter.
Pace car hugging that yellow line.
Here. And the pace car's working its way around. I think it's in the corners right now.
Using the apron now.
Yeah, and so we're under caution because it's essentially just like bumper deal with Zach Rogers and Lyndon Wright.
I saw the 66 spin, so that is why we are under caution. Definitely. Thank you, Henry, for that input. And here we go. I'll cover these pit stops here. These are critical pit stops for the 51, 98, and 77.
The only one staying out is the 85. Oh, sorry. There's also Shelley staying out.
Do they go fuel only? Is that the case at this point? No. Williams going for 2 at the least. I think he might go
going for 4 there. Looking at the 98.
51's going for all 4 tires here at the tail end of this one. As the 51 is out, the 98, is he going to beat him off? The 19 pins the 51 coming out of the pit. And the 98 with that wins the race off a pit road. That is huge right there.
I think Williams, he actually got some wheel spin in the 51 there. Those cold tires coming into play there. Williams just got on the gas too quickly, and then Carson Gum was just kind of a bystander in that. Nothing really the 19 could have done. Williams made a simple mistake there, and that might have cost him the event here, but then yet, we still have a long ways to go here. It may seem like a short race from now on to the end, but even so, this is not over yet.
Definitely not. So at that, Parker will get his lap back. He'll have to start tail end of the longest line. So if I'm Phil Parker, you got to muscle it up there very quick if you want to be a part of this finish here.
He's got to get up there quick if he needs to do that.
Yeah, maybe he won't have to start in the tail end of the longest line. I don't know.
Too big of an issue there, actually, so he won't get held up.
So with that, break it down. When they take the green, it'll be 13 laps to go. They're good on fuel. They're good on tires. Do they go an all-out sprint to the finish, or do they play conservative for the first half of this 13?
I think some of these drivers are gonna wait. Like, they're gonna wait for an opportunity to attack. Doing it within 13 to go, at least when they come to the restart, might be a bit too early. It's just a matter of how well you block. I think a lot of drivers will look into the passing around 10 to go, or even 5 to go. That might be the range, because I feel if you're with a lackluster of cars, but Phil Parker, as I mentioned, he's back on the lead lap, but really, as we mentioned, he's back on the lead lap, so he himself is already going to be one of those variables and maybe a wild card into how this Daytona 500 could be shaped up near the end of this one.
Getting the word here, strike to the number 6 for that causing that incident. It's his first strike of the night. 2 strikes, you're out. Parker dives to the inside. I think he got the message late that he had to get dropped to the back, but it does not matter. He'll get his lap back, if I presume correctly.
So.
Should be right. We weren't inside 10 to go, so there wasn't any issues with that. Yeah, there we go. We get it back.
And
so
so
with that,
he's dropping back.
And he drops back, but he's going to hopefully pick up some draft from the 24. It seems, hoping to maybe get around these guys quickly so he can be a factor in this. Pushes the 24 below the yellow line.
He's getting held up bad by those drivers in front of him. That might cost Parker a lot of time here. He might be out of contention unless the caution comes out.
Yeah, he has lost a lot of time. He's trying.
I think he's lost the main pack, honestly. He's lost it.
Faye throws him up the track. My goodness. These guys, these lap cars, showing Parker the full sitter no mercy here at the end of this one. You'd think him being a leader, they'd let him go. But he has lost the lead pack, and he has got to pray for a miracle if he wants to get back in there.
I think you also have to consider he just kind of approached him in the wrong time, so that might be just a bad predicament for Phil Parker here. He is no longer in contention for the time being. Like I said, it's not over yet until it's over, but it's a 4-car pack with 3 of them in contention for a win.
98 is the leader. 51 dives to the inside. Corey Williams trying to get around the 98. Is he going to do it all by himself?
My job.
Yes. He does get around them. And now the 98 with a crossover move here at the stripe. 11 laps to go in the 500.
Corey
and as
Williams
you said,
still going
Parker
at it.
has lost a full second. So his hopes are over unless we get a timely caution here at the end. And you never know what could happen. You never know. Usually it's a 2-lap caution, so the point of no return is but 2 to go. So if these guys start getting too rowdy up here, that could pay dividends for Parker.
It could for Seth Cole as well. He's not too far behind Williams and Hawkin here, so do keep in mind with the 77 car here. Carson may be a lap down, but Seth Cole, on the other hand, is on the lead lap.
That's his teammate right there, the 19. Oh, the 19 got a little squirrely there, but they keep it going for the time being. That is his teammate, the 19. They're getting a really good run up here. If I'm the 19, I let my teammate get by me, and I become the pusher if I want to be the case there. But I think the 77 might be running the same speeds as the 19, as Parker lost a second due to that. He's the leader of that second group. Battle for the lead. Coming through 1 and 2. The 98 trying to pay back the 51, and he will as they come to DJ. He's clear into the lead with 10 to go.
Great move there by Brandon Hawkin, and Seth Cole actually gets around Carson Gum. Look at the amount of momentum Seth Cole have got in the backstretch there and into turn 3. Seth Cole with a monster run.
Coming through 3 and 4, Cole is clear into second place. It is a 3-horse race for the win here. But we're not even there yet. Cole dives to the inside. Williams trying to give him a push. At the stripe with 9 to go, it's Cole who leads the lap. First time we've seen him at the front all day, and it's where it counts at the end of this one. As they go through 1 and 2, Hawkins falls back to third. Williams in the second. Gum, the lap car, 4th car in line as they come DJ off of turn number 2 onto the back.
Great move by Seth Cole down the front stretch. Now he's in possession of the lead here. Seth Cole now has one mission: to win this race. Hawkin going to the outside there. Cole, and really holding his ground there. Williams stays to the bottom.
One thing I've noticed noticed with these guys running side by side, that second pack back there, they are closing a bit. The gap of Bill losing time there shortened up a little bit. I'm going to see here again in the line. It might be too little too late. But Williams falls to the back of this line here. I think with these guys running side by side, it allowed Phil to close in a little bit. They lose 7/10 that time rather than a full second, but it might be too little too late as they are still losing. They're still losing time. It's going to be these three to duke it out for this one.
Yeah, Hawken actually took the lead there into turn one, an aggressive move there. But look at the gap he has from Seth Cole to him. This is going to leave him as a sitting duck here because Seth Cole and Williams are pushing each other here.
Big time drama at the end of the 500. 3 cars to decide this race. 77, 51, and 98. 2 of them are teammates. Seth, he's got a teammate helping him back there, but he technically is on his own. Does the 98 help the 51 or vice versa, or does the 77 hang on with 7 laps to go? Here comes Corey right to the inside as we hit 10 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone.
Yep, Corey Williams holding on for dear life, but look at Hawken. He's going to make it 3 wide for the race lead. They're back down to 2 wide, but it's Corey Williams with the advantage. Seth Cole trying to get a side draft run there on the 98 there. He's going to shove Corey Williams there for just a bit there, but it's car 51 now to the point there. The Ford Mustang trying to take out the 3 Toyotas right behind him.
My goodness, it is all out drama here. It's interesting how these two are teammates. They run different manufacturers. Coming to the line, 6 laps to go. Crossover move by Hawken. What a move on his teammate. 6 to go in Daytona. As Seth Cole trying to push a Toyota teammate now jumps back to the outside car. Follows with him. But the 98 is able to do it on his own.
Ooh, getting
51,
close.
that is close. Coming on to off of turn number 2, 3 wide down the backstretch.
Oh, Seth Cole went underneath that yellow line, backed off there. They are 3 wide indeed. Carson Gumb's going to commit to the 77 there, trying to help him to his advantage. But Hawken holds his ground. Williams barely chucks off Seth Cole as Hawken now leads the field.
Coming through 3 and 4. 5 laps to go when they cross the stripe. Single file they go again. The 98 of Brandon Hawken, 51 of Corey Williams, and 77 of Seth Cole. Carson Gum in the 19. 3 veterans, one of them being a lap car. I hear cars in the background. Lap traffic may be coming here at the end as the young gun, Brandon Hawken, looking to win his, I don't know how his online record is, though, to be the first race I've seen him run, and it would be the first win for him in the first race I've seen him run as we go to DJ.
Yep, Corey Williams now using the upper groove to his advantage. Seth Cole willing to follow the 51 there, but he goes to the inside there. Seth Cole following the other Toyota there, now going back to the top. Corey Williams now side by side for the race lead there. Hawken on the bottom, Williams up top. Rounding turn number 4, Williams with a great exit off the corner.
And here they come up on that lap traffic. They cannot be side by side here. Cole looked up high on Williams and is going to look up high. Williams looking to use the lap cars as a pick. Cole trying to use them as a pick. They are all, it looks like all of them will get around with 4 laps to go. Hawken losing a lot of time now as the lap car separates him from the 2 leaders.
Well, Hawken is in a bit of a dire situation. Ooh, man, Seth Cole went for the move there. Couldn't quite make it stick. But like I said, Brandon Hawken now has a buffer. He is stuck behind the 19 car of Carson Gum. It's a matter whether the 19 yields to Brandon Hawken or will he stay behind Seth Cole, maybe block for his teammate.
Coming off of turn number 4, it'll be 3 laps to go. Williams goes low. Seth with a slingshot to the outside. When do you hear a slingshot to the outside in Daytona? Seth leads at the line by half a car length with 3 laps to go.
Here's when you hear it. Now!
Carson bounces off the wall there. That allows Hawken to close back in a bit. Does the 19 move the 51 to block his teammate? We've seen how that happens here at Daytona as they come down in the backstretch with 3 to go.
Watch the run. Corey Williams is gonna get on the bumper of Seth Cole. Cole is a bit of a sitting duck. Watch which lane Williams will go, to the top or to the bottom. Williams staying up top behind the 77. He's actually going to wait a little bit here, but look at Brandon Hawken going to 3rd. Hawken now up to 3rd there. Really, he stayed in 3rd, but now he's the 3rd car in line.
Well, in all honesty, what Corey Williams is probably thinking right now is he wants to go and stay behind Seth Cole and make his move right when Seth Cole has little to no way to go and answer back. As he's doing it right now with only 1 lap to go. Oh, sorry, yeah, 2 laps to go.
2 to go right now as we head back down the back straightaway.
Ooh, look at Hawken going to the bottom, slingshot maneuver on Williams. Carson Gum's gonna come in. That might have just ended Corey Williams' race right there. His shot at a victory might have been down the drain. As now it's Seth Cole still leading, but Hawken with a 1 huge head of steam rounding turn number 4.
Coming out of turn number 4, these guys will see the white flag. Crossover move by Hawken. Williams might not be out of it either. I think Gum is going to yield to him. Side by side as they take the white flag in the 500. Hawken trying to hang on the inside line. Williams is back around. He's still in it. He goes to Cole on the outside. Hawken down low. No one helping him. As they come down to turn 2, we go to DJ one final time.
Down the backstretch for the final time, Seth Cole holding on for dear life. He's the underdog out of this gang. He blocks to the bottom. Will he stay to the top? Williams now up to second, but he's only got 1 more shot at 3 and 4. Time is running out for car number 51. Can he get there?
Seth Cole through 3 and 4. Got a car length between him and Corey Williams. Here they come to the stripe. Hawken goes low. Williams blocks. They're side by side. Seth flops it. He wins the Daytona 500 here in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Unbelievable race there. Seth Cole is your winner here in a remarkable finish. You're really racing within the 3 of the 4 cars on the last lap, and I believe I would say we underestimated this 77 car because now he is a winner of the NNSCRA Daytona 500.
What are you talking about? With me, he was one of my picks to actually have won it. Like, in all honesty, one of the reasons why I thought that he was going to be able to win was just simply the fact that, the 3 that I said, they simply knew how to play the racetrack, and just they knew a bunch of strategies to work off of, and as you saw, unfortunately, for the other two picks that I said to watch for this race being Jessica Shelton and Michael Norman, they were crashed out early on in the race, but Seth Cole, who was my 3rd one to watch, she went and just made it around to the end of the race, and he managed to go and win it.
Unbelievable run for Seth Cole here tonight in the Daytona 500. I didn't think we were going to have much drama at the end of this one, but we did. He'll have some friends along with him here. His a couple good buddies. Hawken.
Get some burnouts here, bud.
Yeah, I think some guys want some other burnouts as well. And Seth right to Shelly.
And he told Shelly to get out of the way because it's his time to shine here.
Yes, definitely. Carter Friesen, he's just going to join in on the fun as well. Well-deserved
Toyota party
for Seth Cole. We got a lot of post-race interviews to go through. Don't go away. We'll be back in a couple seconds with lots more from Daytona. It's unbelievable.
Oh yes, that was an unbelievable race in all honesty. It started out very chaotic. Towards the middle, it just was decently fine, and frankly, it was kind of boring. But right as soon as it got to 5 to go, the excitement just picked up a lot from there.
I think they all knew they had nothing to lose there, and that was probably one of the best things we've seen in terms of maybe not plate racing, but certainly in terms of having a 3-car pack with 3 lead lap cars going for it. It was quite a feat and quite something to watch.
Yes, it will. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and go right ahead to our winner, Seth Cole, who's in victory lane here in Daytona.
User in your channel is recording.
Oh, crap. I grabbed the wrong one. Oh.
But I want. User was moved out of your channel.
I grabbed, for reference viewers, I grabbed Carter on accident. Seth, unbelievable run there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing. That was heck of fun between me and Brandon and Corey. And I mean, the whole time there, I was basically telling Carson to, what line to take and everything. He was actually a factor into that in terms of controlling the draft and who got the run. So I got to thank him for that. But man, that was fun. And, the strategy just worked out. My basic goal was I wanted to make it to the third stage. Managed to do that. Didn't have any damage. And, just was up there at the front at the end.
Any of you boys want to ask him something?
What was that feeling when you were in that lead? Was your heart beating really fast there? Because you had a lot of pressure behind you there. Corey Williams and Brandon Hawkin there were right on your tail near the end of it once you had that lead.
Oh, definitely. I mean, when we were at 7 to go, I think I had the lead, and I'm like, I don't want to be here right now because I'm not exactly the best at blocking. So I was trying to give the lead back, and then finally I'm like, well, I guess I'm stuck with this, so I have to just try blocking. But yeah, I mean, the guys behind me, Corey and Brandon, they definitely knew how to control the draft and get the run, so they were getting some good slingshots on me. So basically my whole goal was to try and back up to them and try and stall out that run, and it just worked out in the end to be able to hold them both off, I guess. But to be honest, I would have been fine with any of us three going to victory lane there, because those last 10 laps were really fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a very good race, and it's due to stuff like that that you were actually one of my picks. That you were one of my people to watch for this race. In all honesty.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, I basically, like I said, my strategy was just to ride at the back early on, and then when we were up in position to battle for the lead, it was just go time, and if we wrecked trying to go for the win, so be it.
Well, Seth, before we let you go here and go off with your team and celebrate more of that win, anybody you want to thank for this one today?
Well, first off, just want to thank everybody for coming out and racing. This is the first time that we've run a race with realistic damage, and some people liked it, some people didn't, but I think it brought about a little bit of an interesting aspect to the race, and I think kind of changed people's strategy on how they approached the race as well, in terms of how they raced with others. And again, just thank you to my teammates. I mean, Carson, like I said, he was the guy that really controlled what went on behind me for the most part. And so tremendous credit to him for the fact that, one of the backmarker motorsports cars were able to get into victory lane.
All right, Seth, thank you very much. Congrats on the win here. Seth Cole, your winner of the Daytona of the 2019 NNSCRA Daytona 500. All right, we'll get a few more guys in here. I know Carter's begging for an interview, but I want to get some of the top guys here. Let's go ahead and bring the young gun in, Brandon Hawkin.
User was moved to your channel.
Brandon, man, what a run for you today. Just couldn't quite close it out there at the end. This is Chris Dollard in the NNSCRA broadcast booth. What'd you think of that run? How was it up there?
Wait, Chris, man, that was a heck of a race between the three of us. Man, yeah, it was really clean the whole race. I just wish I had a little bit more help maybe in the last last couple laps. But man, yeah, we were all racing hard but clean, and I think I just left a little bit too much gap going into the last lap, and yeah, that's what did it, I think. But still able to get second though. But yeah, that was a heck of a race though with Corey and Seth.
Gotcha. DJ, you got anything for him?
Oh, you ran a marvelous race there. How did it feel to lead a lot of those laps within like the first two stages and even near the end of it?
Oh yeah, it was good. I was mostly happy about not getting caught up in all the carnage at the very beginning. Yeah, just trying to run my own race, not get involved in stuff, and I was actually hoping it went green at the very end because I had a good pit strategy lined up, but if we didn't have that, the race probably would have been more spread out between the three of us. So yeah, I'm actually glad that caution happened because that was a ton of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody you want to thank for the run today? I mean, this is my first race watching you race, and I was thoroughly impressed.
I've raced Hawkin too many times, so I know how he races.
Yeah, so yeah, I haven't seen you race before. That was very impressive. Sure to look out for you. Anybody you want to thank?
Gotta thank everybody who was racing with me tonight. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, I was working with Zach Rogers, Corey Williams, and all of them. And yeah, it was. I just want to thank everybody for a great race, and you guys for broadcasting. And yeah.
All right, thank you. Brandon Hawkins, driver of the number 98. He brought home a second place finish today, but that car basically unscathed. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
User was moved
All right,
out of
since
your
he's
channel.
dying, I'll get Carter in here.
User was moved to your channel.
All right, Carter Friesen here. 9th place run for you today. 4 laps down in the number 85 machine today. Chris Dollarden in the broadcast booth. How'd you think? How was your run today?
Well, I'm just lucky to finish that race. Like, wow. Gotta thank Carl Long for giving me the opportunity to run his paint scheme tonight for the number 85. That wreck that took everybody out. I don't know how I got through that without my engine smoking. I heard you guys went inside the car for that wreck. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know how I was able to survive after that. But I finished top 10, not complaining. So, and Canada almost won. So, yay.
All right, Carter. That was a pretty good run for you for most of the day. You're able to hang in there at least, which is the good thing. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody?
I want to thank Carl Long for giving me the opportunity. I said that already. I want to thank all my sponsors at NBM Motorsports. I want to thank Roger Ray for helping me out a little bit until he got absolutely destroyed, which was kind of funny to watch, not gonna lie. Thanks to Eric for working with me there at the end. I appreciated that. Thanks to the leaders for not wrecking me, even though they almost did, but they didn't. So I guess that's good. Yeah, that's basically all I have.
All right, Carter, 9th place tonight for the number 85 team, Carter Friesen. Good job.
Thank you.
User was moved out
I didn't know
of
where to
your
put
channel.
him, so let's go ahead and bring Phil in here.
User was moved to
All
your
right,
channel.
Phil Parker, 4th place run for you today in the number 14 car, Team SB. Man, I thought we thought we were gonna have a shot there at the end, but I think some miscommunication at the restart set you back, and you got just held up back there with the lap traffic. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm not gonna entirely complain too much. I felt like I could have just stayed up there and been fine, but here's what I will take out of this race. I got involved in a few wrecks. I'm pretty sure I had engine damage, and not to mention, I got top 5 when I thought I was gonna get parts. So hey, I did very well, I would say.
A very impressive run for you, DJ Henry. Anything?
Well, I do give you props though. You had certainly had an up and down day to say the least there, Phil. It must have been really awful though, like when you got in those wrecks early on though. Like, how'd you feel about I would say the early stages of the races when you had a big field?
I kind of figured everyone was going to go crazy early. I mean, everyone's trying to win on lap 1. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to stay up there with the pack, knowing this is a high-line racetrack, just trying to stay up in the draft, stay up there anyway. And after that, one big wreck, we ended up getting 2 laps down, and I'm just very thankful for all the people at Team SB for helping me, because that was very interesting. And the fact that we were able to get back on the lead lap, be able up there to contend. Granted, not the finish I wanted, but I will certainly take it. Definitely, I'll take it. That was a great run, and I'm ready for the All-Star race.
Yeah, you definitely did pretty well in this race. So I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts on this race?
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, you have some very, differing factors that normally aren't run in most online races, granted whether you're running for points or special. Plus, to be honest with you, I didn't have to worry about points. I was just running hard, trying to be up there in the lead, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, that's just being honest with you. It's pretty good.
All right, Phil, before we let you go, we got a couple more guys we're still going to interview before we head off the air this evening. Anybody you want to thank?
I want to thank Team SB, Eric Rodriguez, and Corey Williams, all of them, for letting me willing to be teammates with them tonight. It was definitely fun battling amongst them with Seth and them. Definitely, it was a fun night. Granted, we got in a few wrecks, but thank you to all the people that are watching, and Well, I guess I can say for one thing, the Cajun spirit definitely lives inside me. I had a voodoo doll in my car helping me.
Alrighty, good run for Phil Parker. 4th place tonight. Last car on the lead lap, for that matter, in the number 14. We'll see you at the All-Star race. We'll see.
All right, thank you very much.
User was moved out
Got
of
him
your
back down
channel.
there. Let's get Williams in here.
User was moved to your
Corey,
channel.
3rd place tonight. Man, what an excellent run for you. Chris Dollarton in the broadcast booth. Oh, man, you dominated that race from what we were watching. I mean, a lot of that last green flag run before the caution came out, you were really running it up there. What's your thoughts? What's your take on tonight?
I enjoyed this race a lot. You know, the 500. It's a pretty exciting little race. Just too many people drove it a little aggressive early, and we saw what happened to them. They all got tore up, and let the cream of the crop shine at the end.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, DJ. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was wondering, since you were leading throughout most of the race, though, how was the fuel load for you? Like, we understood there was a fuel window, but once we got near the end of it, were you a bit worried about the gas and how pit strategy was going to come into play?
No, not really. At the end, I heard Seth clutching. It was right before we had that last caution. He was clutching a lot, and then he kind of quit, and I kind of figured, like, okay, he's not losing a lot of gas. I had like 30 laps left when we had that late caution. It might have been less than that when we had that last caution, and just from then on out, it was, clean and green. But I also saved a little fuel when I was driving up there out of them lap cars, getting right up on that back bumper, trying to get a little draft and a little,
Yep,
saved a little
slingshot.
fuel.
Yeah, how did it feel, though? We usually know you as more like a restrictor plate racer, and it seemed like the result today really showcased that. How is that you feel that as like a good feeling, that it really, like, I guess you can say, emphasizes your strengths in NR?
Yeah, you could say that. I've always been good at these plate tracks. I've studied them and tried to be good at them, and at racing with Seth and Hawking tonight, it just showed. Seth Cole, he's came from a long way of running. I remember he used to not be able to run a super speedway. Now he's up here beating 2 guys who ran him a long time. So that shows how good he's become, and can't say nothing bad about Brandon Hawkins. Me and him pretty much dominated the race all night in the front. It was a great race for me.
All right, before we let you go, got one more interview before we go off the air. Anybody you want to thank for tonight? Anybody?
I want to thank my team. I want to thank Team SB. The boys back at York, PA, put a hot peak antifreeze Mustang out on the racetrack. Probably the best looking car on the track. I really got to thank my family, people who watch the stream, you guys for putting the stream on. Gotta thank the boys in Discord. Hold on, there's a list of them here that's been watching this race. The Machine Guns, MPH Swag, and then I gotta thank the streamers chat that I moderate for. I told them to come watch the stream. I don't know if any of them did, but thanks to the Born Iridium crew for showing up to the stream. If y'all did, and I'm glad y'all guys broadcasted tonight, because I try to put on a show.
Definitely did tonight. Speaking of your car, you're probably the cleanest car left out there, minus cosmetic damage. So yeah, Corey Williams, 3rd place tonight in the number 51 for Team SB. Great job.
Yeah, I think the only car that was like maybe cleaner than what Corey Williams was like maybe Seth Cole's.
Those 3 cars are pretty much the cleanest.
We got about 7 minutes left before we head off the air. I got 2 more interviews to get through. Let's bring in Sean. All right. Sean Fig, Chris Darlington in the NNSCRA broadcast booth. 7th place, 2 laps down. You hung in there at the end of that despite being caught up in a few wrecks today. What's your take on today?
Really, I'm trying to even find a take. Well, I've just been really bad luck as of late, and it's very frustrating, and especially finding apparently a struggle with more experienced drivers trying to veer away from the rookies and not help the rookies. I don't know if that's just something I've noticed, but I don't know. I'm just not finding any positivity out of it, but definitely very great event to be a part of. I want to thank Seth for putting it on, and I don't know, just trying to find positivity in it all, but it's very hard.
Very much understandable, DJ. Any input?
Yeah, I could empathize that. I mean, like, when you mentioned that, like, how were you feeling when, like, the first 2 stages, like, when you got into those wrecks, were you a bit frustrated? I don't want to really stir up anything. Would you say you were a bit frustrated, really, just because of what was going on so early, and you expected maybe that to be a bit later in the race than, earlier?
Well, usually, and I don't mean to start anything either, but usually in the NNSCRA races, it's expected to see some wrecks very early on. Most of the time I'm able to get around it, but it's just trying to find the words to put here. But it's a very frustrating experience to try to get yourself up in the front and not have anyone to help you. It's not the greatest
not
thing
many
to have,
familiar.
but I don't know.
Well, Sean, it was definitely a good run for you tonight for the most part, despite the wrecks. 2 laps down, 7th place. Can't complain about that. I understand your frustration, but anyway. Anyone else you want to thank before we let you go?
Definitely. I want to give a shout out to all the R&R and ISRA crew. A couple of them racing tonight. I know David Alvarez could not make it tonight. He was racing the Delta Sim Cup, another league out there. Just a shout out to everybody that is a part of Rubbin Racing Motorsports, my league, that it's been around for at least a year. And a big shout out, I'm not sure if he was watching tonight, but Greg Irwin, my colleague, as we both have the Independent Sim Racing Association, which is basically the conglomeration of Rubbin Racing Motorsports, my league, and his league, which is the Independent Sim Racing League. I want to give him a big shout out and hope he's doing all good and he'll be back soon. But yeah, very tough night tonight. Try to find the positivity in it, but thanks for you guys too to putting on the broadcast tonight. Absolutely.
Emily, thank you very much. Sean, Faye, 7th place tonight.
Hope you can get some friends in your plate tracks here, Sean.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get you some very soon. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
User was moved out of your
All right, we got one final interview, and then I'm going to bring Seth in for closing remarks. This is Carson Gum here, who finished 5th.
User was moved to your channel.
Carson Gum, 5th place tonight. First car, only car that ended up being a lap down. First car off the lead lap. 5th place tonight. You salvaged that out in a virtually almost unscathed car, other than engine damage. This is Chris Darlington in the broadcast booth. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I'm just happy that I was able to get top 5. Even if I did fall a lap down, I was just happy to avoid all the wrecks as well. I did get plowed twice, but fortunately it didn't really affect my car.
Gotcha. Henry, any input?
Yeah, I definitely did see that you got plowed, but like, what was some of your closing thoughts, like, as the race was coming down to the wire?
As it was coming down the wire, I was just hoping that there would be another caution. We didn't get one, but that's fine, because like I was able to help my teammate to a win. So in the end, we all came out happy.
And nothing wrong with that, DJ. Any final thoughts for him?
Nothing wrong with that.
Alrighty, Carson. Any last thank yous you want to put out there before we close out the show tonight?
I'd just like to give a shout out to Backmarker Motorsports. Really great team. And I was really happy that we were able to pull a victory for one of our own.
Alrighty, Carson Gum, 5th place tonight. I think we were able to get everyone that we were able to. Good run tonight for you, Carson. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved to
Alright, I
your
wanted to
channel.
bring the admin in here one final time, our race winner again, Seth Cole. I want to get your overall input. We haven't done this race in 3 years, I would assume. 2 or 3 years since we did it.
2016 was the last time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so, and I know how bad 33 cautions last time compared to 14 this time. What are your
13
overall
actually.
thoughts? 13.
I just looked at it, and officially it's 13 cautions.
13 cautions. So we were right on the nose there about with counting it. I lost track after all because I had to leave halfway through the race for a
I lost track too.
I think we all just lost track of how many cautions it was. Because, like, that is still, like, it's not nearly as much as what we probably should have been expecting. But it still was just, like, an amazing amount of cautions, in all honesty.
And especially when you consider that the last time we did this in 2016, we ran 150 laps, and this was around the same amount as 154, because obviously we had the stages. But when you consider the fact that only 2 of those cautions actually weren't for a wreck, so technically in terms of like legit cautions, we had only 11. So it was definitely a lot better than the 33 caution fest we
And
had
also
back in
consider the damage this time, so...
Yeah. I mean, like I had said before, I think it changed how people approached the race. They weren't overly aggressive, willing to take risks, knowing that, you know, if they caused a wreck, they would have no damage and be able to continue on. I think it changed the approach and made for better racing, actually.
Do you think we'll see this event again sometime soon?
Well, see, here's the issue. I'm not exactly sure what my future plans are for being, in the online community past September. So the likelihood that this is going to be coming back, it's kind of slim to
Pretty
none. I mean,
slim.
there's probably going to be like a couple more special events before September, but this might be the last Daytona 500 event that I at least am going to be hosting, at least for a while, until I know what the future plans are.
Definitely. Just wanted to bring you in for your last input again. Good job on the win. Producer's telling me we got to get off the air here, so I'm going to give our final thoughts, final plugs, and we'll be out of here from Daytona. Thank you, Seth.
Hey, no problem. Thank you guys for doing the race. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Out of your channel.
Alrighty, it's 10:30 here in the Central Time Zone, 11:30 on the East Coast. Final thoughts, guys, after this.
Oh.
Well, it was. Oh, you can go ahead, Henry. My apologies.
No, you can go ahead first.
Yeah, this race was a bit chaotic once we got to the first and second stages, but really the third stage was a bit of a game changer because it determined the drivers that really played it conservative or were staying near the front, that mindset of either staying in the back, making your way forward, or just staying up front and avoiding the carnage to really avoid the potential madness that is Daytona, really came into play. Corey Williams, Brandon Hawken, and Seth Cole were pretty much the main contenders that stayed in that mindset throughout most of the event, thought of the bigger picture. There were early wrecks on that took out a lot of potential contenders that were really fast and could have won this race if it weren't for those wrecks, but because of just their mindset, again, we're kind of going to emphasize a bit of mindset. Mindset was the big factor here, and for Seth Cole, also getting help from Carson Gum, his own teammate, that also played a factor there as well, because due to the lack of cars, you needed someone, a partner, to help your way get yourself into P1 and a win at Daytona.
Yeah, it definitely was like pretty chaotic. In all honesty, I was looking through the chat occasionally throughout the race. Upon like the ending, I'm honestly kind of surprised that nobody at least flat out said that was rigged, considering that one, an admin won. Two, the fact that earlier on the race I said to watch that person and then they later on go and win. And so that was pretty interesting. And as for like a plug, if anybody is actually curious, yes, I was talking throughout the stream. So like very early on, I actually said like what my channel was. So everybody would have had the information I would have wanted to have said.
Alrighty, I'll throw in my last chips in here. I thought it was again, I mean, if this was the last Daytona 500 under the NNSCRA banner, it was a good one, a good way to go out. We'll see what the future holds, as Seth said. I thought it was a pretty half-decent race. The first half filled, definitely chaotic. We lost half the field in the first half of the race, almost the first stage for that matter.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, it was awesome at the end there. Seth made a great run there, hanging on in there, and those guys, they were just competitive all night long. So with that, it was a pleasure to be with you guys up here in the broadcast booth here in Daytona for this race tonight. Again, Seth Cole is your winner of the NNSCRA Daytona 500 here. Anybody you guys want to thank? I've been asking drivers that all night. When you guys want to thank?
I really want to thank Seth Cole and you really too, Dollarton, for actually just PMing me earlier today about joining into the booth here. It was an honor. It's such an honor to do commentary because it's something I've always liked doing, when I was young, or really, well, I am still young, obviously, but like back then I also had that urge to commentate, but doing an online race like this, a full-on event, I've done one like this with the Indy 500, with the SRA Indy 500, but doing an NNSCRA event, commentating one with you guys has been something I've been looking forward to, and it was such a fun time with the chemistry between us three as people, and we all had fun, hopefully, so for me, I had a great time.
I had a great time myself. Henry, anything?
Yeah, like I had a great time as well, so like I definitely thank Seth for the honor of like hosting the stream for like today's event, and I also thank you too too for helping me commentate the stream. As DJ said, we all were like amazing together, and so like in all honesty, I know for a fact that like I probably would not have done as good of a job on the stream had I not had you guys here. So I think that the fact that you guys were here and helping me commentate, it made the stream like much better. And the fact that the race was very interesting for the most part, and definitely very chaotic, definitely went and helped with the situation.
Definitely, Henry. It was a pleasure to have you in here. Pleasure to have you, DJ. And I would be remiss if I did not thank you guys that are still hanging out with us well past close into the overnight hours here. Thank you all for watching here tonight. It was definitely a fun race to call, a fun race with these guys. So, with that being said, for Henry Sanford and DJ Curtis, I'd be remiss. Coming up next here on the NNSCRA Network, coverage of MSCWC, the Mock Season Wrestling Coalition. It's their coverage of Clash of Champions pay-per-view. That is coming up next. I would be remiss if I did not mention that. But anyway, for DJ Curtis and Henry Sanford, I am Chris Dollarton. Good night from Daytona.